Good morning, good day, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. God, the song is good. And now the next good one starts. Which is, by the way, one that well, it's currently available with the Moogle event. I just couldn't be bothered to farm that many Moogle stones, though. I still haven't gotten the 100 that I need to buy the earring, which I still need to get, by the way, until the servers go down tomorrow. So that's going to be fun. But thankfully, this Orchestrion roll was like 2.5 million gil on my server for the longest time, because there was only like one or two available. And now through the event, they got a little bit more common, and a couple people were selling them for like 600k, so I just said fuck it and got it. Still kind of annoyed that I didn't just buy it when it was available. Although then again, even when this rate was current, it was still pretty expensive, I think. As far as I can recall, because, well, a lot of people obviously wanted to have it, right? So it's, yeah. It is what it is. Anyways, today's, well, today isn't that exciting. The exciting part will come Tuesday when the new patch releases, but there's still a bunch of stuff that I wanted to do or need to do. One big one being the new Hildibrand quest. I want to get that done until the patch comes out. Now, Hildibrand itself isn't going to continue, I think, until 6.25, so I don't necessarily have to do it right away, but I just want to have that sort of out of the way. Also, I'm interested in how they're actually continuing it, because apart from a couple clips here and there from the trailer, for example, I haven't actually seen so much of the new Hildibrand. So it's going to be interesting and exciting where they take that and how it works, because the quest starts in Ratzat Han, yet Hildibrand technically is still stuck on the first, I think. Anyways, we'll figure that out. And then I also want to go through the patch notes. I had a quick glance over them this morning, and I just want to go over a couple of points. I thought there was some really, really interesting stuff in there, some really cool quality of life changes in certain regions, and just overall, I also just want to take some notes about the things that I actually want to do and try out, because there's definitely a bunch of stuff that I'm excited about, and want to see where they take it. Anyways, let's get into it though, and start with one quick thing, which is the Argasodara in Thavnair. As you recall, I unlocked them on Thursday. I got them to the next stage, but I wanted to do the quest on stream, which is why now we're coming back to it. And I want to do the upgrade quest on stream, which will hopefully also allow me to do more quests here. Then again, since I delayed it probably won't give me additional options, right? Oh well. No big deal. In theory, should probably do the 3 quests first, since that would give me additional experience for my machinist, but I don't really care about that. Let's continue. Pachyderm's promptitude. Whatever that means. Trina's eyes are sparkling with optimism, but the baleful look Maro shoots you from afar tells a different story. Here to see how we're getting along, are you? Let me go and grab Maro. Let's see what they're getting up to. They were doing so good with the marketing, though, so... But they're probably... I mean, we need to deal with the rest of their small, well, not village, but resting place for their business grounds here. Thanks to your help and Kankana's oddjobs, we've been keeping our cuts rolling and staying out of trouble. Communicating with the locals still feels daunting at times, but Maru has made us some gullible to break the ice. Yeah, I've already been hard at work throwing that onto potential patrons. Maybe you don't know what I'm talking about. Kulal is this bright-colored powder used in some of Daphne's religious traditions. There's an old belief that you'll be blessed with good luck and spared from evil if a visitor sprinkles you with a healthy handful. It's enough to make even the most stubborn buggers happy to welcome us. Please just know it's been nothing but bad business for everyone lately. I reckon a little extra luck would do so good. That it would. Though our own luck might be better if my girl Soria didn't start galloping with glee when she gets so much as a glimpse of the stuff. But all in all, we've been getting our name out there and learning the job. Might be slow going, but we're making good progress. But boss, he is slow going, really kinda chaotic. So long as I get to ride, I ain't got no problems, but our carts ain't exactly designed for hauling cargo. No one beats us for speed, but practically speaking. Sooner or later, some silver-tongued dab-hands gonna come along with carriages or boats that can carry loads and loads of packages. And then where will we be? Out of work, that's where. Oh, he's really thinking ahead here. Well, nobody came along thus far, and it's been a while since the calamity happened, so... Well, I guess in-game it's not been that long, but still. Howcats might not pass the carriage and freight, but it's like you said, Maru. At speed, we're unbeatable. If only there was some way to make the most of it, to offer a service that no one else could do better. Well, I mean, speed's pretty good, though I'd imagine, yeah, most people probably want more of a practical approach. I don't think speed's necessarily that important overall. I mean, even in our super, optimized world, the end customer very rarely actually cares about speed if the rest is very satisfactory, right? Might only be a slight edge over another business if everything else is equal, which is very rarely the case. So, But I don't know about their local necessities, right? So don't look at me. Maybe your customers will have some ideas. True, we won't get anywhere marinating in our own juices. Let's ask around and see what speedy services folks might need. Is what I'd say if I knew the first thing about making small talk, which I don't. Help me out. It started the great work. I got a delivery request from an alchemist there, so me and Sori will head over first. I'll meet you by the Aetherite after I've picked up the goods. Let's do this. I like how he's always bowing like that. It's a really, really cool emote. Oh boy. Perfect weather for this type of stuff. Well, I'm just gonna stick to my tank here. Weather's not gonna worry me much. Just wait here. You wait by the Aetherite, but see no sign of Trenna, who should have arrived before you. Has trouble befallen her? Perhaps you should search the area for any wayward hippos. Wait, that way? Shouldn't she have come a different way? Oh, hello. Injured alchemist, what is he doing here? Ooh, I get to fight as a summoner. That so rarely happens anymore. Ooh boy, I probably need to... well, I've been playing Summoner for so long. It's gonna only take me like 2 minutes to get back into it, but I maybe should, you know, look at my rotation again before going into Savage. What the? You're amazing. You put down the piece like it was nothing. What happened to him? Is that even the alchemist we need to get the wares to? Or I guess it might be. Thank you. Thank you. You really saved our skins? Me and Soria zipped over when we heard yelping, but it was everything I could do to just keep that beast at bay. I don't know what would have become of me if you hadn't allowed me to express my sincerest gratitude. That's that voice. She can do that too. That's so cool. They're very professional for being a former delinquent street racing gang, basically. Anyway, am I imagining things, or does it smell like fruit around here? If I was a Vash Ralangula, I'd come running too. You've a sharp nose, miss. Yes, I was in Yedlamont on an errand when a merchant bade me take this fruit, insisting it was delicious and perfectly ripe. How was I to know that every beast in Saltland's welcome should agree with the claims wholeheartedly? I thought escaping that herd of drooling Gaja would be the worst of it, but my hopes were fruitless, as it were. Oh, boy. Well, next time you've got something to hold, call the Hippo Riders. Me and my associates do fast, safe deliveries by Hippo cart. Yes, I've heard talk of Hippo couriers as of late. Never did I imagine one would come speeding to my rescue. I will absolutely call upon your services in the future. I'm gonna load his fruit onto the cart and see him into town. I've still gotta pick up that package, so come find me inside the Great Work. This time for sure. What's with the "this time for sure"? Isn't that a meme? Definitely recall the stream having that as a meme. This time for sure. Let's see. Oh, yeah, there she is. Here's our customer. Let's pick up the goods and get going. You're the couriers, aren't you? You're here. You're already here. But you're with the students of Baldessian, aren't you? What business have you with our parcel? I don't know about any Bald students or nothing, but he's helping out with our new delivery service. Really? Supporting small businesses? How grand. So, can I have the goods now? Well, you see, that is to say, it's not quite ready yet. I overslept is the thing, just a tiny little bit, so I was rushing to get it all prepared. And that's when I made this truly minuscule error in the formula and, well, it exploded. Quite explosively. It exploded? That's, my condolences. In that case, I'll just hang around here while you're getting it ready. No rush. Let's go and do the talking while we wait. See what our potential customers need most right now. Sure. Or is she gonna follow us? Alright, conversations, here we come. Huh. The alchemists here are an odd bunch, eh? Including our latest customer. Kinda feels like I've stepped into another dimension or something. Now I want to find where they are. Lethargic alchemist. It does look pretty lethargic. Do I need anything? Well, the Radiant host used up its entire stock of medicinal supplies during the final days, so requests for replenishment keep pouring in without end. I can't remember the last time I sat down for dinner with my family. It seems like a different lifetime by now. That's, unfortunate. I wish I could help, but I don't know the first thing about medicine. Well, I mean, getting it someplace in a quicker fashion might make that easier for her. I don't know how she's actually getting it to them, right? Although they might pick it up from here. I don't know. Intense alchemist. Do I need something? Why, I'm glad you asked. I've depleted my stores of honey. I have no moment to spare for such trivial affairs as eating, but cognitive functioning dramatically decreases without regular sustenance, so I came up with a brilliant scheme. Like honey throughout the day for quick and easy nourishment. Only now there's none to be had, as I've licked it all up. We could start beekeeping, I guess. Honey hippos. Does have a ring to it. Then again, I'm not sure how many people would use a high-speed honey service. Well, it does seem like they don't have enough time on their hands before delivery service. Yeah, I'm really not that sure how that would help. Let's ask the wild-eyed alchemist. What's this? Do I need this, that, or the other? No. I'm flying free and feeling fine. I finished all my assigned work, which means I now have 3 delicious days for my personal research. I'll eat and sleep when I'm dead, but until then, alchemy. Right then. Congratulations. Okay, so they all don't have time to eat or sleep, or don't want to have time to eat or sleep, but... yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know how we come in to help them. I am ever so sorry to have kept you waiting. It's all here, packed up safely and hardly signed at all. I singed. I would like you to take this to a colleague of mine at Palakastan. He's an alchemist named Yazan. We built for a bookish type. Oh, well built for a bookish type. Handsome. You can't miss him. The baby. I know Yazan. I do indeed. That's why you have to do the... I always like that. I really enjoy how they're bringing this always back to the people that you meet initially, because you have to... like, that's a prerequisite to unlocking these tribe quests, right? So it's cool that they're then also actually bringing those stories in into the actual quests, right? Oh, you're acquainted, are you? What a small world indeed. He's still the same as ever, watching over his little one and Palakastan alike. He requested replenishments for medicinal supplies, so hopefully this should tide them over. I also threw in a handful of finished samples, and the whole explosion incident stays between us, yes. Now, if you'll excuse me, I should eat something before my hands start shaking again. Oh, but do give him my regards. You know what? Maybe a food delivery service might be a good idea. Right? I mean, that's a cool sort of expansion to what they're already doing. And food delivery also does require a lot of speed. Whereas goods delivery not necessarily needs that. These alchemists don't seem to stop for nothing, even meals. Ain't no denying that their work's important, but it's a miracle they haven't all killed over by now. Well, about that, that sometimes does happen. What if the Wiggles came to them? But I'm getting ahead of myself. This package ain't gonna ride the Palakastan on its lonesome. Introduce me to this Yazan when we get there, will you? That's pretty cool. So now, I feel like we're going to expand into food delivery here. Ah, fuck. The Osma Mount always reminds me that I still haven't done the Savage version of the Lubrum Reginae. I always wanted to do that. I'm pretty sure there's still service doing it, but I don't know. That always requires so much time. I need more time. As much as I like completely sinking into 14, you know, actually making time for that is not always so easy. Also, when you're doing something like that with so many other people, it's just very, very restrictive, right? You need to sort of adhere to their schedule, which is not always an easy thing. Hi, what a pleasant surprise. A new shipment would be arriving soon, but I never expected you to be with it. Are you playing the card of Carta these days, then? The alchemist who sent this said it's herbs for medicine and something about finished temples too. Is that so? I know how busy the work keeps them. It's very generous of them to send ready concoctions. I wanted to get straight to work replenishing our medicinal stores, so your prompt arrival is welcome indeed. Oh, if it's prompt you want, you ain't gotta look no further. The Hippo Riders will deliver anything to anywhere in a flash. Course, we'll always fine-tuning our carts and services so as to better serve the area. Seeing as you're the one looking out for folks over here, I want to pitch you an idea. My impression is that folks over at the Great Work are so busy they barely have time to eat. That can't be good for the alchemy, not to mention the alchemists. So I'm thinking we start delivering fresh food by hunger-harrying Hippo. Oh, you mean the Osma mount? Yeah, it's one of the best looking ones too. I'm really glad that I got it actually. It was also a ton of fun. Um, it's just so awesome going through Bildestian's arsenal with like 56 people. Though it is, if it when it turns into a cube and you're sitting right on one of the corners, I mean technically you're hovering above it obviously, but yeah, it doesn't look too comfortable. Only starting a service with just a handful of peaky alchemists ain't exactly gonna pay the rent. You think folks here could use some grub runners? To be honest, there's a great number of alchemists over at the Great Work, aren't they? Like 50 people or something? At least. They all start ordering food for their lunch every day. It's a lot of food. I do believe so. It has long been tradition to send food to those working in the jungle, so I'm fairly certain you'll find our residents amenable to such a service. As these hot and humid climes tend to spoil foodstuffs easily, we like to deliver meals as soon as they are prepared. However, transporting victuals in this jungle can prove somewhat dangerous. You mean that the smell attracts all sorts of hungry critters, right? Precisely, and what with our fighting fit currently healing or engaged in other matters, we simply haven't the manpower to spare on escorting meals. But our hippos are a different story. Ah, yeah, the Marlboro Mound. I did that with the group like a couple months back. It's also really, really fun. But it does take some time, and it's so, well, especially getting prepared for it, it just takes such a long time. Because you have to get all the spells, and that can get a little bit, annoying from time to time. Though, I mean, when I try to do it, if you keep an eye out on Party Finder, it does, groups do tend to pop up here and there to get the more annoying spells. Especially because, I mean, there's bound to come a new Blue Mage update in Endwalker at some point, I think. So at that point, I'd imagine a lot of people will go back and probably try to get all the different spells. And it's very, very good during the Moogle events, that's true. You can just kill stuff so fast. Though, I'm still... I don't know, it always surprises me that they still allow that, because, I mean, technically the Moogle events are kind of there to populate the Duty Finder, right, with those specific dungeons, so that they're actually run by people, and the Blue Mage kind of opposes that, but I guess they also don't want to take the fun away. And it's pretty cool that it's usable for that, right? Because it doesn't really have, besides the mount, doesn't really have any other kind of uses. A hippocard can outrun most anything in this jungle, so you ain't gotta worry on that front. Thanks for weighing in. I've gotta consult with my associates, but something tells me you can look forward to fresh meals from now on. Call it a lunch hunch. God. Keep saying they're really, really good with their marketing. She always comes up with the best alliterations. Oh, wait. It wasn't one in this case. It did rhyme, however. Alright, let's head back to Swana for a team meeting. The token warrior? Okay. It's just so fun. It's also incredibly good at farming fates, if that's ever something you need to do. I don't remember, when was that? Well, definitely during the, what was called the yokai event. It was pretty usable there. But in general, because it can also, like, you can suck in all the mobs that are around you really quickly and then just, like, kill them in one attack. It's incredibly versatile as well. And yeah, the raids are just a ton of fun. Doing them with Blue Mage. Especially because they're not really that difficult, so you get to actually experiment a bunch, right? It's not as tight as Savage, because in Savage you usually do the exact same, like it's about being as constant as possible with your rotation, right? As Blue Mage, you have a lot more freedom, and you can sort of even on the fly change tactics if something isn't working, which was pretty fun, to be honest. And for the Marlboro mount itself, the only really difficult fight I would say is A8, obviously, because well, Brute Justice just takes a while, and there's a bunch of ways where you can still mess up, and it's kind of hard to recover on Blue Mage, I would say, because you only get one race per person. It was just as you said, asking around onto some bright ideas. You think of something good, boss. Food, Maru? Eats. We're gonna deliver meals with these wheels? Eats. Mouth watering meals delivered wherever, whenever. Wish I could order something. We got it cinched, boss. Ain't nothing that'll deliver faster or fresher than our carts. Hold your hippos, Maru. You still gotta sort something out. Where are we getting this food in the first place? Taking meals from Palaka's stand to the jungle is one thing, but if we've gotta ride all the way to Yetlamat or Ratzatan for ready mates. Good point. Popular dishes would be hard to keep in stock. What if we had a kitchen here? We could make our own meals. Yeah. Fresh ingredients from merchants in Yetlamat. The daily catch from fishes in Akyali. And most importantly, we get an endless supply of food. It's actually, the place where they're at is really perfect for that, right? Because they have the harbor in Endwalker where they can get a ton of stuff. And the fishes are just south of them on the beach. It's as if this was planned. I might be a genius, boss. Wait here. I'll have the kitchen going in no time. Shit, now I want to order food. Oh. Alright, this was pretty cool. I really enjoy this tribe questline. Because it's so, I don't know, it has this weird thing of being this completely normal, everyday life thing, right? With just, okay, they're doing deliveries, and now they're doing food deliveries. It's so normal, but in a way, quite fun to see these Akasadara try their shot at it. Thanks to Mara's enthusiasm, Swana has a new kitchen. The warrior fight, yeah, he definitely does. Though, I always really wanted to get into fishing, right? The fishing log was always teasing me, and I've seen a couple of other people get into it as of late. And I still need to get the shark mount from the ocean fishing. But it also seems kind of daunting, because there's like 900 fish or something that you can catch, and some of them rarer ones are really, really, well, not difficult, but you just need to be very, very patient to get the right weather and stuff. I kind of want to do it eventually. I mean, as soon as I can actually craft my own different exterior for my house, I was thinking on actually putting some fish tanks in it this time around, because I've never done that in the past, so might be a good opportunity to catch some rare fish for my fish tanks. The Hippo Rider's reputation has risen to formerly delinquent carters. Make the most of their expanded services to help improve their social standing. I mean, to be honest, it already looks pretty good, right? If the alchemists will all start getting their food from them, they're not going to stay former delinquents for long. Yay. I'm actually interested to see if I still do get 3 additional quests. I don't think so, because I didn't do the other 3 before leveling up the my reputation. Let's do the rest on Machinist. Suppose I could, I'm feeling, yeah, I definitely, that's true. I mean, their food looks really good, so they're gonna surprise a lot of people with that. So in general, it's a really cool kitchen. And they even have like a on-site restaurant. Though maybe having some fences against the wild animals over there might be a good idea. I really like the small settlement of theirs. Alright, let's get the 3 done real quick. Deal by the docks. Tell me, you're from Eorzea, ain't you? Just so happens we've got a deal lined up with an Eorzean trader, but we don't want no trouble is all. You don't mind acting as my middleman, do you? Alright, you'll need to pick up our side of the bargain from a fisher called Kanga in Akyali. Hint him this. He'll know what to do. Take what he gives you to the Eorzean trader at the docks in Yetlamad.
and then report back with the goods once you've finished. Easy, right? Is it just me, or does that sound a little bit shady, but Do it for the vine. Listen, an important part of riding is being ready to ride at all times. That means keeping up regular maintenance on your card. It so happens that we're running low on certain spare parts, and getting more of them, well, let's just say it's best suited for fighting types, eh? Like you. If you could swing by the old Hamza hatchery and fetch me some Manjusaka vines, I'd be much obliged. You're gonna have to take down some small fry to get to the gnarlier chap, but his are the vines we want. A healthy handful should do. Okay, sounds easy enough. You might have trouble. One of our riders has gone missing. Last we heard from him, he was heading back here from Palakastan, but that was some time ago. You think you could spare a moment to join our search? We've covered the ground between here and the Wakeful Tirana so far, but beyond that... Oh wait, I actually do get 3 additional quests. Oh no, that's just... No, I do. Wait, can I just actually take on 6 quests at once? I've never actually done it this way. Interesting. To be willing to go scrape me up some red bloom anemones. There's this recipe I want to try. You want to look just off the coast of Saltwind's Welcome. If you could grab me a couple growing close to the water surface, I'd be much obliged. Well, cool. I can just do a bunch of stuff at once. You got time to spare, because I've got grub to share. Specifically with the folks protecting the ruins and temples in the Shroud of the Samgar. Here, take these sweets and eats and follow the sound of rumbling bellies. Tell them the Hippo Rider sent you. Darling Defender. You haven't seen a prudent rider carrying a couple of jugs of walrus oil, have you? He's a tough bloke, so I didn't think twice about sending him off to pummel walrus. But now I'm worried something might have happened. I reckon you're even tougher than he is, so would you mind seeking him out? He should be on the perfumed rice somewhere, and hopefully he ain't dismantled. Yeah, let's hope that didn't happen. Alright, let's see. I also still find it surprising how far these quests actually take you. I do feel like in the past they were much closer together usually. I mean, I don't necessarily mind. It gives you an opportunity to enjoy the map somewhat. These tribe quests are leveled up pretty easily anyways, so... It's not exactly what I would call shallow water, but alright. Works for me, I guess. So wait, that's 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's the last one? Let's deactivate this real quick. Technically it should... No, of course it doesn't. Wait, where is the last one? Oh, it's right there. Well, that's unfortunate. Could have done that first. Well, let's just do one circle around the map. Oh, hello. Nice. Ooh, that's new. The great work. Even in Thavnir, the birthplace of alchemy, the practitioners of House Daemir are renowned for the craft of their concoctions. It was they who founded the settlement of the Great Work, and to this day many talented alchemists choose to reside here and carry on the family's peerless endeavors. That's the first time I grabbed one of these sightseeing spots since they updated that. That's pretty awesome. That they now show it to you right away instead of you having to go into the sightseeing log. Makes a lot more sense as well, because this way you actually engage with the information that they put there, right? Because usually I think most people won't take another look at that. Ooh, this looks dangerous. Oh, never mind. Wait, did he already take out 2 of them? I owe you my thanks. Circumstances forbade my retreat. Oh, is that a... Aww. Didn't even see that it was a small turtle. I shall retrieve the oil and return post-haste. Tell this tomorrow if you would. I wonder if the small ones can already do the rocket spinning. Or is that something special for the mount? I don't actually remember what they... what the mount description is talking about. Okay. Oh, right, there's another one. I always forget how many, what's it called? Things I can do in one overheat window. I think it's 6? 6 heat blasts? 6 or 7. Playing machine is so rarely, I always forget to activate all my stuff. Is this the same quest I already did? Or is that another one? Because I already did one of the dailies with the cart that's gone off the road, apparently. I think it was over here somewhere. Might be the same one. Yeah, I think it's the same. Harried right on. Yeah, that's the one way I have to pick up the cargo, right? The cargo you have 3 minutes to carry over there, for some reason. Even though it only takes like 20 seconds. Alright. That's done. Next one over there. Oh wait, 2 workers? Are they working on this temple? Trying to restore it or something? If it isn't you, what brings you out this far? Have something to eat. Warm victuals with ripe amber for dessert. Why? My empty stomach was just serenading me with discontentment moments ago. Might you have heard it? If this aroma is to be believed, I dare say I shall soon become a true fanatic of the Hippo Riders meal service. My thanks to you. Oh, hello. Have you business with me? Here. Something to eat. Who would I be to deny such delectable generosity? I humbly accept. We are by no means yet free of the shadow of misfortune, but it is precisely for this reason that I became a steward. After I have partaken in your kindness, sir, I shall finish the rest of my rounds with vigor. Oh, wait, they're trying to protect the temple? Something like that. So calm and very calm night. Oh, this is the elegant purse. I think I already did this as well. Yeah. I just remembered the NPC. Alright, so there were two of the quests that I had already done on the first level of their tribe stuff. Now back to Yedlamot, and then back to the tribe, and then we can finally get into Hildibrand's new weird adventures. Whatever he's up to. Some of the clips and scenes from the 6.2 trailer did look quite concerning. I think they're probably from Hildibrand. At least the one with the Loporrit's dancing was quite something. Yeah. Weird. When I first did this quest, it didn't really seem shady to me at all, but for some reason, reading through the description a second time made it feel a lot more as if they're doing some sort of weird deal on the docks. I don't know. Guess they're not really just trading with a trader from far away. Alright, let's turn the stuff in. Goodbye to the dogs, I already did that. Bloom and Ocean. You find those red blooms? It did indeed. These are them. Red blooms are universal. Fishers use them for mooching, and they're delicious deep fried or steamed in coconut milk. With funds like these, who needs other anemones? That actually sounds really delicious. Is that some sort of... Because I don't think I've ever seen something like that. I mean, it sounds delicious. I mean, it has to be based on some real world stuff, right? Anyway, since they're so popular, you're only allowed to harvest them from certain areas. Don't want to get too greedy after all. Well, that's actually cool that they're keeping that in mind. Did they like the grub? Very much seems so. I'm glad to hear it. Those temples and ruins are important parts of our culture, so sending out the occasional warm meal to our guardians is the least we can do. Here's a little something for you too. Did you find him in one piece? Of course he did. He's usually a sober-minded fellow, but all bets are off when a little critter gets involved. Anyway, I'm relieved to hear he's alright. Wasn't sure what I was gonna do if he wasn't. I'll keep this in mind the next time I send him out on a job. Thanks for helping us out as always. And this one was the one that I hadn't done. You got those vines? These are perfect. Our hippos appreciate your kindness, as do I. You see, these vines are what stand between the yolk and our precious hippo skin. Believe you me, you never want to see blistered hippo. We always make sure to keep fresh vines in reserve, but go through them quicker than you might think. I hope you won't mind fetching some again when the time comes. I'm pretty sure I'll have to do that a couple more times over the coming week. Alright, already did that as well. Nice. And I got another level. Not that I really need it, because I still actually want to do the trusts leveling as well. It's going to bring me to 990 easily, but oh well. Also, let me just see. Is there something you can already buy? This one, right? Aw, cute little Arcasodara. Nice. Huh. It's gonna be one of the minions that can roam my new island in 6.2. It's the first time I actually have use for the minions, because Lords of Vermilion ain't it. And I usually only have Midgard's Armor out. I don't rotate through my minions, usually, so it's gonna be cool to see a bunch of them on my island. Comes with modesty covered. Thanks for that information, I guess. The Hippo Riders turned to the great work to create these mammoths as gifts for their patrons. Garbed in a traditional Thevenarian outfit, it boasts appeal as a local souvenir, and the redoubtable merchants of Yevamot are eyeing ways to profit from them. It's pretty awesome. Man, these guys are really good at marketing. Should have done that a long time ago. Okay, that being said... Oh, right. I wanted to turn the other quest back on, because I still need to do this as well. Let's go to Rotzatan and start with Hildibrand. See what shenanigans he's up to. Probably nothing good. I wonder if this is just going to be some sort of introduction, or if it's actually going to have one entire case already. Excitable youth. Oh god. The sleeping gentleman. Wait, did they already bring him back from the first? I felt like they said at some point during the live letter that Hildibrand's gonna be like one expansion behind, basically, but maybe they decided against that? Wait, I know you! We met in Kugane. You're that stone-cold killer I asked to look after the love of my life. Wait, that's you? How did you get here? So that's one of the... Wasn't he involved with... I mean, obviously with the Hildibrand quest in Kugane, but... I think his story was connected to when you're doing the battle against... Because you're battling Gilgamesh again, right? In Kugane? I don't really remember. I do remember that there were Lalafelds involved, but I don't really remember how, because most of the Kugane questline of Hildibrand, well, one thing involved him being... Wasn't he in like a play or something? And people thought that he was some sort of really renowned actor? Something like that, but he had no clue what to do during the actual play. Didn't he also blow himself up with a bomb accidentally? And then there was something with... I do remember that scene where... I think we're investigating something... we weren't investigating someone either wanting to steal or already having stolen a sword or katana. And later on, there's definitely a scene in one of the sort of back houses in Kugane, and Gilgamesh comes in and takes the sword, doesn't he? I think. But at that point, he's still dressed up as... what's his name? The one you fight at the end of the Kugane castle dungeon. Forgot what his name was. It's also kind of an assassin, right? Well, not really assassin, but sort of bodyguard for hire, with his lion or whatever it is, or not lion, tiger. He has a tiger, and he also appears in the Gold Saucer event. Why do I not remember his name? But anyways, he turns out to be Gilgamesh, right, during the 8-man battle that they introduced in 4.5? Yeah, 4.56, I think it was. And that Lala had something to do with that as well. I do remember waiting at there's like a, next to the Garlean, what's it called? The Garlean embassy in Kugane, next to it, there's like a small bridge. Looks quite beautiful, and I think that's where you had to wait for these guys. Maybe. What's that look for? Surely you haven't forgotten me. You and me, we had a moment, a connection. Not like the one I've got with her, of course, but I know I left an impression. Okay. Oh, wait, what? Frankly, considering how many blows to the head I've taken, I'm lucky I haven't forgotten my own name. What kind of answer is that? What the fuck? The creepy little bastard who smells like cheese and followed Nashu to Kugane after stalking her for over 5 years. Wait, that's what he did? Why do I not remember that? Wait, was he also... He wasn't part of the other Hildibrand quests, though, right? I feel like I would remember that more clearly. I don't think he was ever there during either A Realm Reborn or Heavensward. Huh. Hey, there's nothing creepy about my love. It's as pure as the pristine waters of a forest stream. Fair point about the cheese thing, though. What the fuck? Well, Nashu is way too oblivious to see this anyway, so eh. But enough about me. This is about Miss Nashu. Ever since she got sucked into that weird portal back east, I've been scouring the world for any sign of her. I was this close to giving up, but then, huzzah! I found her here in Ratsatan. You did? Normally, I'd be happy to get back to playing the silent, invisible guardian, but she seems pretty distressed with the plight of her inspector friend. He's here too, but laid up and showing no signs of waking anytime soon. My Nasha has been fashioning all sorts of medicines in hopes of rousing him, but to no avail. I mean, I couldn't care less if he kicked the bucket, but I hate seeing her like this. She's liable to work herself to death. So, what say you? Will you deliver my dearest Nashu from her plight? You'll find her over at the High Crucible, no doubt slaving over an alembic. And with that, I'll get back to cheering her on from the shadows. You too, I guess. Now go quickly, save my beloved. Okay. I guess I do want to know how the hell they got here, of all places. Well, to be honest, we never actually found out what kind of portal they fell into, right? I always assumed that it was a portal to the first, because at that point we already knew that we were going to the first, right? But then again, they never really confirmed that, and the summoning that was done during 5.3, that Elidibus did, right? That was sort of only partial summoning. So Hildibrand appearing in the 5.3 dungeon was, well, he was kind of there, but also kind of not. So I guess his spirit or whatever could have returned to him. Though then again, maybe that's what this quest is going to be about, that we somehow have to get his soul back into his body. Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily call these the shadows. I mean, technically they might be, but that's very close. Also, Nashu, maybe I wouldn't necessarily put bombs right next to potentially very hazardous, alchemic substances. Anyways, and that should do it. Now, to take this medicine and... Oh boy. I feel like it's been forever, though definitely less than a year, I'm sure. Sure. Well, in theory, in game, it hasn't been a year. In real life, it has been, what? When did 4.56 release? That was... Shadowbringers was 2019, right? So 4.56 was like, I think May 2019? Something like that? So... Well, I mean, 6.15 has been out for like 2 months. It's been a good 3 years. Hi, Nashu. How you doing? What brings you to Ratsatan? Enjoying a spot of adventuring, or perhaps... Then you've heard. It's true. Inspector Hildibrand's gone into hibernation again, and... Oh wait, you're giving me that look. The one that screams, what about the whole weird portal business? Alright, since you silently asked. They know exactly what we're asking. So, back on the Ruby Sea, remember how Greg got doused with dew prism and was forced to whisk us all far away? I do remember that. How that strange rift then opened up, which the inspector then got sucked up into, and how I followed him in after that. I do remember that. God, you see. Well, after that, we all ended up in this bizarre place. We couldn't tell up from down, left from right, and so we wandered, lost and confused. So, basically what you always do, right? Fortunately, Greg came to his senses and explained that we were in the interspectorial rift. Yes, that's what it's called. And then used the same trick to bring us home. Okay. How the hell did he do that? Greg himself stayed behind, though. Something about a score that he had to settle. Not sure what that was about, but hey, you know Greg. Wait, what score? What the hell is he talking about? Is that a reference to some other Final Fantasy that I'm just not getting because I didn't play the ones where Gilgamesh was in? Anyway, we're back now, but the rub is that Inspector Hildibrand hasn't opened his eyes once. I know he needs his beauty sleep, but it's been an awfully long time and we've got cases to solve. I've been trying my hand at apothecary stuff, seeing if I can't make something that'll get him up and moving, but nothing seems to work. But I think we're making progress. Me and Mr. Chupacabra from the Shakshoka concern, that is. You remember Mr. Chupacabra, right? Got sucked into the rift along with us, former evil mastermind. Not so bad once you get to know him. Oh, there you are. Pleased I am to meet you once more, in under less compromising circumstances. If I may correct our mutual friend, I am Chubraka, chairman of the Jatra concern. Well, I definitely don't remember those words, but okay. Nashu's mixing everything up. So I do wonder,
the quest picture, right? Yeah, it very much looks as if Hildibrand is suffering from the same thing that the Scions were suffering from when when Graha pulled their souls to the first, but left their bodies behind. So maybe that's exactly what Elidibus did accidentally with Hildibrand in 5.3, huh? Well, maybe not that accidentally, but I'm sure he wouldn't necessarily have wanted Hildibrand to be the one to attack us because he's kind of incompetent in that regard. Your distrustful and somewhat bloodthirsty glare is not unwarranted, but in my defense, who among us has not contemplated enslaving the rich and powerful to bend the world to their whim? Kind of has a point. I pray you forgive me my poor joke, and allow me to assure you that after wandering the interdimensional rift for the sisters only know how long, I am a changed man. And naturally, I understand that words alone would not suffice to absolve me of my sins. Thus, since my return, I have operated a humble apothecary that caters to the needs of one and all. Furthermore, I made arrangements for Miss Nashu's workshop. Rest assured that I will spare no effort in helping her see Inspector Hildibrand awakened and return to full health. Alright. And with that, if you would excuse me, I must see to other business. And, of course, he's still scheming something.
Isn't he the nicest ex-villain you've ever met? Haha, but that's right, I had just finished my latest medicine. I've got high hopes for this new recipe.
I found a new recipe. It's the only thing I actually remember from 15. I did not expect them to bring back this alchemy guy, but yeah, I mean, he wasn't the most memorable villain ever. Then again, technically the Hildibrand quests never really have memorable villains aside from Gilgamesh, right? They're more played off as a joke most of the time. And they kind of had to bring him back since he did enter the portal with them, right? I suppose I ought to get a look at the Mandible Man himself. Let's check him out. Might be able to claim something useful.
By all means, the inspector's resting in a room up in Kama. Awake or asleep, I'm sure he'd enjoy your company. Let's go.
That's the residential district, right? Yeah. Kama. It's a pretty long walk to the Aetheryte. I feel like the mini Aetherites are sometimes placed in, like, weird places. Although there are a bunch, actually. Alright, where'd she go? Is that in here? Ah, it is. There he is! Looking, pretty, and of course our Lalafield's back as well. Alright then. But yeah, what is this place? Did they just put him into somebody else's home?
The girl's a friend of yours, is she? She's welcome to stay as long as she likes. I do hope her friend recovers soon, though. Sleeping on the floor hasn't been good for my back.
I was gonna say, he's like stiff as a corpse anyway. Like, put him on the floor. Why are you sleeping on the floor? Poor Pariga.
Isn't this room nice? Mr. Chupacabra's taking care of everything. Even paid the rent in full. But I'm distracting you, aren't I? You need to concentrate while you examine the inspector, yes?
Oh god. Study the sleeping Inspector Hildibrand.
Well, that's going to be interesting. Examine Hildibrand Mandeville. Well, he is breathing at least, so that's a good sign. Rugged features belie what is, at closer glance, the sensitive mien of a cultured gentleman. While he still breathes, he appears to be locked in a deep slumber. He's very noticeably breathing. Rippling muzzles bespeak impressive strength, while smooth skin suggests that only on the rarest of occasions does the man resort to violence. Troublingly, his limbs are stiff and cool to the touch, as if the blood runs cold in his veins. What was that sound in the background of the music? I never noticed this weird... That sounded... So is he a zombie again? We did turn him back from his... Like, he wasn't a zombie anymore, right? As far as I recall. Wasn't that... The exquisite buckles of the stylish footwear are a design unique to House Mandeville. These shoes would almost certainly fetch a small fortune in the markets. Would they, though? The inspector's condition is disturbingly reminiscent of the Scions, who were summoned to the First for a time. Yeah. Very much is. Oh, finished already? Any theories as to what's wrong with the inspector? Well, he's a soulless husk, which is less than ideal. That sounds harsh. I suspect he may have been summoned to another reflection. She won't understand a word of what I'm saying. I see. I mean, I don't, but that's what you're supposed to say at times like this. I know that much. How do we wake him up? Return his soul to his body. But where did it go? And what is it doing there? Probably went to the First to become the Gentleman of Darkness. As you do. I think it's gone to another world wholly unlike ours, but still slightly like ours. A world of contrasts. That's a weird answer. Let's go with the first one. He's the Gentleman of Darkness now. A very confused one last time I saw him. I see. Right. So, can you go there? I can. Great. In that case, I'll leave the soul searching to you. I'm sure it goes without saying, but once you've arrived in this otherworldly world, look for a place that smells of mystery and intrigue, and chat with the people there. That's standard agent of inquiry protocol. Oh, and since this is Inspector Hildibrand we're talking about, don't be surprised if you find him asleep or having forgotten a thing or two. Not to worry, I've prepared my traditional medicine just in case. Don't hesitate to use it, and with that, do take care out there. She gonna give us some bombs to throw at him? Probably. Okay. So we are actually going to the First. That's cool. Prostarium. I really hope there's going to be more quests like this. I really did enjoy the small part in Endwalker where they also made you go back to the First. Because it does feel like a very distant place, right? I mean, it's supposed to be, obviously, but Shadowbringers was so incredible, and, you know, there's so many really, really just great memories attached to this place that it does feel at times like it's very sort of far away. Even though we can always teleport here, but you know, nothing's happening here. There's no reason to come back here, really. So, I always really, really appreciate when they actually make you go back here. Okay, where the hell is this, though? Is it next to the living quarters? Or maybe in the, bar, restaurant thing. Oh, right, that's a bartender. Sorry, dude, I actually forgot your name. What's up with you? Are you... I mean, we kind of finished the quest, but it still felt like we actually had more stuff to do. There's doubtless much I can learn from work as a bounty hunter, especially with Tana as my guide. Oh yeah, right, they were planning to do their own thing, right? At loose ends, are you? You're welcome to loiter around here, if you intend to spend some coin while you're at it. But then I'm not grateful for the business you've brought in mind. The hunters are here even more often now that they're working together, and their accounts never go unsettled for long. They're a pain in the arse to serve, of course. Maybe I'll drop your name next time I need them to behave. Still, it's nice to feel like something grand is in motion again. Perhaps Apud rubbed off on me more than I anticipated. How fare you of late? Still tending to the bar, cleaning up after drunkards and cleanup. If this is the punishment you had in mind, I struggle to fathom a harsher fate. In all seriousness, I continue to use my spare moments to entertain patrons with stories of the Warriors of Light, and thanks to your recent exploits, it's never been easier to find willing ears. What's more, with no more imposter walking about deceiving the masses, I'm now free to share the tale in its entirety. To speak the unadulterated truth. It seems I'll remain in my calling as a tavern wench for a while yet. It's pretty cool. Man, I really have to do another playthrough of the whole story of 14 at some point, but boy, that's gonna take a long time. I really enjoy being here, though. It's so cool to be able to talk to her, right? That these NPCs are still here, and she's still drinking, obviously. The other hunters aren't half bad at killing stuff, but we need to work on their drinking habits. Who drinks wine with dinner? Right, beer's definitely the better choice. Welcome back, friend. I'd offer you a pint, but my barman sense tells me that's not why you're here. I'm looking for a weird inspector. So, this friend of yours has gone missing. Sorry to hear that, but plenty of travelers pass through these parts. Would you describe the fellow to me? Well, he's very distinct. Hume Burley wears a monocle, well-meaning idiot. He was wearing a tattered suit, most like. Yeah, he definitely was last time we saw him. Let's go with this description, though. Especially the idiot part is definitely going to remind him of him if he did in fact meet him. As it sounds familiar. Mind you, I didn't see him myself, but I do believe one of our bounty hunters spied such a man when you were all battling that horde of spectral warriors. Oh, right. They were all with me in 5.3, right? In the dungeon, I mean. So obviously they would have seen him too. When he appears there. Giot, come here a moment. There's someone who wants to speak with you. Well, we already had a chat, but alright. That's so. Make it quick. You go. Drink itself. If it ain't you, brings you back to our neck of the woods, and immediately sober again. Now that you mention it, I did see someone like that, back there on the battlefield after you ran off to do more hero work. At first, I thought he was going to attack me like the rest of the spirit whatsits, but no, he just stood there, striking a pose, trying to scare or seduce me. Damned if I could tell. Fucking Hildibrand, man. He's just doing his awkward poses while everybody else around is, you know,
I don't know, doing whatever. Still, he was glowing, and I wasn't about to take any chances, so I said, "Hey, piss off, Ghost, and send him packing." Did he die, you ask? To which I say, what am I, Chirurgeon? Also, I've kept my mug waiting long enough. Good talk. Bye. Could it be the Warrior of Darkness? Oh, those two guys from the main quest. They're looking... Wow. Holy shit, you did some stuff since last time we spoke, huh? I thought that was your voice, but was convinced my ears were playing tricks on me. It's good to see you again. Didn't mean to eavesdrop, but we overheard you discussing the renegade poser. We've been searching for him for some time now. Really? There have been sightings in Lakeland, you see. Bernard and I have been tasked with getting to the bottom of it. We've little in the way of useful information, though. All we know is that he appears without warning and strikes a disturbing pose. Oh, God. He's not caused any harm. If you discount the shock of strange men gesticulating in your general direction, that is. Well, it can be pretty, fearful looking. Nevertheless, we're worried his behavior might escalate. Have you been tasked with apprehending the miscreant as well? Not quite, Bernard. He's come back to track down a missing friend. Your miscreant, I regret to say, might be my friend. Wouldn't call him a friend per se, but I too happen to be looking for a man prone to posing. Let's go with the first one. He kind of is our friend, right? If a very, he's kind of the friend that's, really fun to be around when you're on your own. But as soon as other people get involved, he's just very, awkward and, you feel shame for bringing him along. I don't know. It sounds pretty bad, doesn't it, when you put it like that? But he is kind of like that. Very unaware of his own problems. The man you're looking for might be the one and the same, then why not work together? Between the three of you, you're bound to have better luck. True. It would be an honor and a great help. We were just about to leave to gather testimony, as it happens. Come and join us in Sullen when you've finished here. We'll solve this mystery in no time. Unwil Karhide just going, what the fuck are you on about this time? Probably already worried that we're gonna create another kind of calamity. Okay, Sullen, isn't that the fishing village? Was it? Yeah, it is. Back in Lakeland. Brings back so many memories being here. Alright. Who do we need to interview? There you are. Sullen Elder. Oh, that fellow. I saw him the other day on the way home from Clearville.
I'd enjoyed one too many libations after my bath and ended up wandering off into the forest. Before I knew it, the sun was dipping low and the sky turning dark, and I was beginning to wonder if I'd ever make it home, and I felt a gentle tug at my arm. And would you believe it? This odd-looking man let me out of the forest and set me back on the road. I thanked him profusely, but he said nothing in reply, just shrugged his pose and walked off. Oh. So Hildibrand doing some good work for a change, apparently. Or maybe he did that on accident. He might have misinterpreted what the man was actually trying to tell him, but... Did I see him? You bet I did. I was crossing through the forest of the Lost Shepherd on my way to deliver fish to the Ostal Imperative. Out of nowhere, this odd man leapt in front of me. I thought he was a bandit at first, but then he abruptly turned to the side, curled his neck, and put his fist to his head, as if to say, I don't know, it was baffling. I ran when I realized he wasn't going to do anything else. It sounds so fucking awkward. So I guess we need to go into the forest to hopefully find him. Why, yes, I saw someone like that when I was out picking mushrooms in the forest. He even spoke to me. Wait, he did? I was repulsed at first by his form, but he only wanted to warn me that fell beasts lurked in the forest, and that I should be wary. Contrary to appearances, I'd say he was actually quite gentlemanly. Oh, God. Already gathering admirers on the first as well. Finished questioning the locals, have you? Were you able to learn anything? Kinda, yeah. Not only has the poser caused no harm, he's even helped people? So he is a gentleman, albeit a suspicious one. Something of a contradiction, you might say, but there is no reason to doubt what we heard. Everyone seemed to encounter him in the forest of the Lost Shepherd, right? Then that's where we'll look next, shall we? Okay. Let us look there. Where is that anyways? Oh, here. Okay. Funnily enough, kind of where we arrived first here, right? Wonder is there something special to this specific place of the woods? Alright. Let's see what he's up to. Well, here we are, but how exactly are we supposed to begin our search? These woods are, well, woods. No plan, do you? For be it from me to doubt the warrior of darkness. Show us what you've got in mind, and we'll back you up to the best of our ability. Oh God, are we gonna do the pose? We are, aren't we? Oh, we can choose? Let's go with the Mambo. That's way cooler. God, the sound effects of these quests are the best. Oh my God. And now they're doing it too. Well, if this isn't going to bring him out, then nothing will. Heart, What familiar gentlemanly gyrations are these? Where the heck is he walking? Oh, up there. The fuck happened to you? Oh god, is he a fucking Sin Eater? The forgiven gentleman. Are you kidding me? Oh, he can't actually fly. Oh, man. These quests keep on being the most hilarious shit ever. On your guard! It's a Sin Eater! No, I think he's only pretending to be one. No, wait. That's no Sin Eater. Does he still remember how to do the makeup from the Kugane quests? Probably, right? It's the Gentleman of Light. Gentleman of Light. Who is this Gentleman of Light of whom you speak? I am the Forgiven Gentleman, Devourer of Sins, Light Warden, Extraordinaire. Sure you are. You're not a Sin Eater, you're Hildibrand, the Gentleman Inspector. You might occasionally moonlight as a zombie overlord, but trust me, you're a Gentleman Inspector. Where did he get the wings from, though? Inspector! Sin Eater! Inspector! Sin Eater! Wait, is he really some sort of Sin Eater being? You're acquainted with this, gentleman? Sadly, I am. Right then. Clearly your friend has been through a lot, but still, how did he get in his head he's a Sin Eater? Is there no way to bring back his memories? Probably. Oh. Explosives! We're still trying to save him, right? What are we gonna do? Blast him back to the source? What a throw. Oh god. Now we're playing volleyball. Oh, hello. Nice save. Perfect. And now we get the final blow. Boom. Oh boy. And he's stuck in the ground again. Well, if this doesn't bring back any memories, then nothing else can. We get wide! We've killed him! Calm down, he can't die. Although at least I'm pretty sure he can't. Somehow he also changed suit color through that explosion. I guess maybe it just got burned and turned to black from white. I say, I had resigned myself to Nasha's ungentle methodology, but you too, my brutish friend. But never mind that. I do not recall the world being quite so purple. Yeah, about that. Previously, I was with Nashu and Gorek, wandering the bizarre, shadowy realm known as the Inspectorial Rift. Sure, buddy. Oh, we actually get a flashback? Ah, they get that too, right? Because they're also technically Warriors of Light now. Where am I? Who am I? Oh. That sickening light, that aggressive posturing. I know what you are. You're one of them, ain't you? He has no clue what's going on. What you need is a good old-fashioned dwarven decking! Oh god. Piss off, ghost! Kind of cool attack is that? I want to do that. Then what? He was just stuck there the entire time? Well, that's in it. Sunita's sure going to be surprised. The fuck is going on? He can actually ward off Sinitas just by wiggling his ass, apparently. Run for your lives! It's a Sinita! Wait, and that's how he wanted to be one? Sin? Ita? So he just decided, hey, that looked cool. I want to look like that. Or what? I'll be damned. Saw a vision of the man's past. No wonder he became convinced he was a sin eater. Really? Really? Just because the sin eater used him as a, I don't know, a rocks surface area, he now wants to be one as well? I guess he saw him flying away and he wanted to fly too. Maybe that's it. I saw it too. It was quite possibly the most ridiculous memory I've ever glimpsed. Yeah, well, you haven't been with him for so long. Answer me, my faithful assistant. Where are we, and why is it so purple? Well, you see. The first? The first what? Are you telling me we've somehow traveled to an entirely different world? Indeed we have. Good gods, to think that I've transcended to the very boundaries of time and space. But worry not, my adoring fans. Hildibrand, Agent of Inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, will return to you forthwith. He will indeed. They're just looking at each other. What the fuck have we gotten ourselves into? Oh boy. Oh boy. I can't help but feel that this is not what the echo was intended for. Explosions, dwarven deckings, is there nothing this man can't withstand? Well, a hit from his father, that might do it. A soulful reunion. Hildibrand is back, and full of spectral beams. While I've enjoyed the time I've spent in this far-flung first that I can remember, we should be getting back to our own world soon. Would you happen to know how we might go about doing that? Restore my soul with a spirit vessel? Say no more. Your cursory description was more than enough for me to grasp the concept completely. It's not unlike brewing the perfect cup of coffee, which means our task is clear. We require the services of a skilled soul sommelier. Sure we do. Stop assuming things you know nothing about. You require the services of Back Luke. Splendid. I see that even in this world, you rub shoulders with the cream. Let us pay this Back Luke a visit. I'm not sure what you're plotting to with souls, but if you require Back Luke's assistance, we can help. Aye. They've aided us time and again, and I reckon they'd do the same for your friend here. Come with us to the Cabinet of Curiosity. Wait, is Back Luke there? Guess we're gonna go back to the Crystarium? Oh boy. These Hildibrand quests, man. You always think they can't get any crazier, but, well, to be fair, even for Hildibrands, that were, yeah, they were on par, I would say, with the rest of them. Oh, right, the Cabinet of Curiosities. For a second there, I was sort of just admiring the background. Still looks absolutely awesome. Though honestly, I can't wait to see what they're going to do with the 7.0 graphical update. There's probably gonna be a bunch of stuff that will take some time for them to go over, right? They won't update everything at once. But, still. You know, seeing all these different places get a little bit of a touch-up, even if it's only a little bit, I think that would still be pretty awesome. Oh, there you are. If you're ready, I'll call for Beck Luke. Sure, he is going to be delighted to meet Hildibrand. Ah, the genius soul sommelier. You come highly recommended. And what an adorable little puppy you have. Oh God. Please don't. So, what? Puppy? I beg your pardon, but there seems to be some confusion. Puppy? Who is this imbecile? I've half a mind to make him dig a hole so I can throw him in it. But I presume he's a friend of yours and one in need no less. Sadly, yeah. What? Another of your friends that needs to be sent back to the source? Have you forgotten how complex and difficult it was to do it the last time? Yet you waltz in here and ask me this favor with the air of one shopping for a new hat. Well, I mean, we already know how it works, so... His case is no different from the others, at least. He's present only in soul, as they were. We'll need another spirit vessel, of course. You don't happen to have one on you already, do you? Do I? I don't think so. Wait, I do? Entrusted to you by the Crystal Exarch, you say? If only he knew how you were using it. I guess it's the one that Graha used to get his memories and stuff back to his body on the source. And that's now empty and we can just reuse it, apparently? Okay. Well, I mean, I guess nothing's really speaking against that, right? Fortunately, I have a porxie on hand. I've been using it to treat patients at risk of transforming into eaters, but I suppose it's due for a change of pace. There is, however, one concern. In case I didn't make it clear before, the process can place great strain upon one's soul. If he's lacking in resilience, there is a chance he will not survive, that his very essence will be rent asunder. I don't think that's going to be an issue. That's a risk I'm willing to take. After what he's lived through, it would be implausibly anticlimactic for him to die like that. He knows me all too well, I assure you, my good sommelier, who is most certainly not a dog. You needn't worry for Hildibrand, Helidor, Maximilian Mandeville. Hoo boy. Of course, insult him again. That's gonna go over well. Yes, I get the distinct impression that the gods themselves could not kill him if they tried. And they have. Come along, then. Hildia can't be bothered to remember that name. 1,000 thanks. Simply point me to the soul siphon, and I shall hop right in. The rest of you can wait here. I promise I won't hurt him, no matter how much I might be tempted. Well... at least we sorted that out quickly. Maybe, honestly, let's just, keep him in the spirit vessel. At least that way he can't do anything stupid. Then again, to be fair to him, he actually apparently did help some people in Lakeland, so... You will be pleased to know that the process was smooth and uneventful. Honestly, I was hoping for more of a challenge. All you need to do is take a spirit vessel back to the source and bring it in contact with his corporeal body. You should awaken immediately with the soul and memories intact. If there's nothing else, Vanad and I should be getting back to our duties. It was a pleasure. If all too brief, I won't pretend I understood even a fraction of what happened, but I'm glad I was there for it. Till we meet again, rest assured that Thaler and I will be doing our damnedest to look after the people here in your absence. All right. Gentlemanly Spirit Vessel. A brightly glowing spirit vessel that currently houses the resolute spirit of Inspector Hildibrand. You know, maybe I should actually just keep it in my inventory, right? Not continue with the quest and... That's it, though. Honestly, that was quite a brief visit to the first. I'd almost hoped that we'd see more of him here. Well, let's bring him back to Redzatan. Though I feel like he might cause all kinds of chaos there. Oh, right. Comma. Well, at least Barriga's gonna be happy he got his pet back. Where'd he go? You're back, and not a moment too soon. We have an emergency on our hands. We do? The Inspector's soul is in this, you say? That's great, but we have another problem now. The Inspector's body has gone missing. We went to the markets to do some shopping, and when we came back, he was nowhere to be seen. I double-checked that every door was locked before we left, but there's nothing to suggest someone forced their way in. We've got a case on our hands, the case of the evaporating Inspector. We must begin our investigation at once. Come on, let's start looking for witnesses. Did he somehow stand up on his own? How does that work then? Hey, did you see something weird going on here lately? Did I see anyone get carried out of that house, you ask? I was too distracted with stock-taking to make note of any comings or goings. Sorry, could be of more help. Dubious individual. Who the hell are you? Who the fuck are you? Wait, he's also actually wearing the earrings we now got, right? Those are the earrings from the current Moogle event. Yes, it's a most distressing situation indeed. Oh, well hidden as always. I didn't see anyone carry a person out of that house, no. But I did see a man carrying a particularly large sack, so heavy he strained to lift it. I didn't think much of it at the time, but now that you mention it, it was a bit suspicious. Alright, what happened? Is that the guy, though? Ah, there you are. This man says he has vital information that will help us in our investigation. Curious. Delian? A pleasure to make your acquaintance. I am Delian, Editor-in-Chief of the Thenarian Truth, a monthly publication devoted to exploring unexplained and otherworldly phenomena of our isle. Oh god. What kind of esoteric idiot did we now find? Your companion shared with me the news of your friend's disappearance, and I happen to know precisely who is behind the incident. But I fear you may not like the answer, for the kidnapper is not of the star. What? They come from the heavens, from beyond the great expanse. They descend in curious, saucer-shaped airships to study our world, our society, our buildings, our very bodies. Is he fucking suggesting that Hildibrand has been taken by some UFO? Oh my god. You shudder, no doubt, as you realize of whom I speak. It couldn't be, you protest. Oh, but it could, and it is. Your dear friend, the Inspector, has been abducted by aliens. Yeah, sure. Oh, but he'll be fine, you assure yourself. After all, they just want to understand us better. You poor deluded child. That they do, but to what end? Why else? That they might one day take over our world. Well, you see about that. The Omicrons are kind of, not existent anymore, and Omega already tried to do that, and, Midgard's almost our friend, so nothing to worry about. What is worse, they plot to do so with the aid of collaborators, where the Sharlians are in league with our would-be overlords, providing the aliens with vital information on our vulnerabilities in exchange for a position of power within their regime. Well, sadly, he's, a quarter right there, because obviously the Sharlians are in league with the Loperids. Wait, do the Loperids have some sort of UFO-looking vessel? And was it really the Loperids that took him? The final days was also the work of these alien invaders, an attempt to sow chaos that our world would be easier to conquer. Blessedly, it was thwarted. If only by dumb luck, as those that did the thwarting were blissfully unaware of the true nature of the threat. I'm sure we were. I'm sure, yeah. I had hoped the setback would discourage the aliens from coming back, if not move them to abandon their ambitions, but it would seem events have only emboldened them. If they are indeed carrying out abductions here in Ratzat-Han, even as we speak, your friend lays prone on a sterile bed in their base on the surface of the moon, where they poke and probe him with inscrutable instruments as their floppy ears wiggle with fiendish delight. But I have said too much. I must continue my investigations in secret. The fate of our world is at stake. For fuck's sake! The worst thing about it is that he's kind of right. I mean, and I wouldn't even put it past the Loperids to actually carry out some inspections on Hildibrand's body. Maybe not with probes and whatnot, but Oh boy. Oh no, that sounded awful. We have to go to the moon and save the Inspector at once. And you just assume we can go there because... What the fuck? Okay, that is... that's, I think, one of the best burns I've ever seen. One of the actual best burns I've ever seen. I think he was a few materia short of a full meld. That he was. That he was. So you don't think the Inspector is somewhere getting probed by aliens? But if not them, then who's probing him? Nobody's probing him, but he got possibly taken by Loperid. A man carrying a suspiciously large sack. That sounds promising. Maybe someone else can tell us more. Well, the man that wouldn't point towards Loporitz, though. Right? Kind of not. Okay, wait a second. I need to send this to a friend. I don't know if they've actually done the new Hildibrand quests already, but this is absolutely brilliant. Ah, for fuck's sake. I always say, why does Sony not get the... I hate apps that sometimes just lock you out for some weird reason I don't understand. Alright, wait a second. Let's see if this works. Of course. Alright. That's good. Now go here, take this one, download, yes. Also, it constantly tries to change the name Hildibrand to something else when I type that. Alright. Let's see if we can find him. Someone up ahead may have seen something. Let's ask around. Oh, she's actually accompanying me. This feature actually works out really, really well for these quests. If anyone can lead us to Inspector Hildibrand, it'll be that man with the large sack. I know it. Well, of course, because he apparently has just taken his body for whatever reason. Discuss the Akasodara. Pariga and his family are the nicest people. They've got such gentle eyes and long snouts too, longer than anyone I've ever met in Eorzea. Well, that is true. I do like the Akasodara as well. The man with the sack? Indeed, I couldn't help but take note of him as he passed, trying so very hard to be inconspicuous as he was. He descended to Azadal's path, then went over to the fountain. We met with the merchant, I believe. Such a hefty sack it was, my mind was racing with the possibilities of what it might contain. That had to be our man, right? We need to hunt down that merchant. Well, I'm going to take the stairs, though. If I can find where they are. Oh, they're to the right. This staircase is kind of ridiculous in how far you have to go in order to get to it, right? Though, as I said last time, I really appreciate how they've built up Roxatan, actually. That time we went up the stairs with Omega and Alpha, now we're walking down the stairs with Nashu. Why is this optional conversation point square instead of round this time? Seems somewhat random. Discuss the fountain. It's incredible, isn't it? Reminds me of the giant statue of Lord Godbird at the Gold Saucer. Once the inspector's back on his feet, we'll have to show him. Well, to be fair, Godbird's statue looks a bit more impressive. Even though I don't think it has its fountain maybe less impressive. Traveling merchant. A man with a large sack. Ha! You bet I saw him. In fact, I sold him my chocobo. At first I told him to get lost, that Bird and I go way back and so forth, but he was in a hurry and his offer was very generous. When you're in my line of work, I can't afford to get too sentimental, and now I can buy a whole stable's worth of chocobos. Did he say where he was planning to go next? He was muttering something about having to get to Saltwind's Welcome in a hurry. Probably why he was desperate for a chocobo. It's a long way to go on foot, never mind the sack. Did you hear that? We need to head to Saltwind's Welcome right away. Wait, Nash is actually more perceptive than usual, I feel like. If you want to catch your man, you should look for him at Saltwind's Welcome. I can't imagine that he's moved on that quickly, unless he wrote my bird to death. He did seem to be in a rush, but surely he would not have done such a terrible thing. Well, let's hope for the best. I do wonder if we're gonna know the person we're looking for here. Or if that's gonna be someone different entirely. Where the heck do we need to go? Oh. Makes more sense now. I was gonna say, well, Saltwind's Welcome, where the heck is that even? But, okay, that's actually the beach down here. Something about the lighting in this zone is really, really cool, especially now with the new buildings that we built here. For the... oh, what the... kind of fate was that? That we built here for the hippo riders. There's something quite beautiful about how you can see these brightly lit buildings against the dark background. I don't know, it just looks very, very cool. Also in the back there where the ships are. Okay, buddy. Cut it out at some point, will you? Here we are, which means the mysterious man with the mysterious sack must be near. Keep your eyes peeled. What's this gonna be now? Over there! That man is definitely up to no good. Hello? Do we know you? Maybe he's waiting for a co-conspirator. We should stay out of sight and watch what happens. Or maybe we're just misinterpreting this entire situation and he didn't actually take Hildibrand? Oh wait, how long have we been sitting here? What the fuck? Oh, never mind. Maybe he did take him. Ha! Mr. Chupacabra! But he expressly told us he had put the evil schemes behind him. He wouldn't lie, would he? Of course not. Never. Not this guy. What's the other one want with Hildibrand, though? The goods appear to be none the worse for wear. Very well. Your payment is promised. Oh! I thought it was the other way around, but he just wanted to get Hildibrand out of the city, apparently. My client will be most pleased. And who is your client? What the fuck is that? Oh no! Is he going to feed the inspector to the giant sea monster? That's a robot. It's an honor and a pleasure as always, Dr. Lugay. Wait, Lugay? 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 I have faith the specimen will meet with your satisfaction. So this is the one said to be the strongest, most resilient in all the world, the Mandible Man. None other. He has weathered countless explosions and a multitude of martial abuses, including a devastating suplex I myself did witness. It is even said he survived the journey to Dalamut itself, and survived the Lesser Moon's fall with nary a scratch. It is actually quite impressive what Hildibrand survived, not gonna lie. Most fortunately for us, he has fallen into a coma from which I am assured he will never awake. You are free to do with his body as you please. Even the mightiest of warriors can't fight while asleep. What the fuck is this thing even? Like, what's with the creepy metal skull? What the fuck? Those meddlers may have gotten the better of me and my beautiful boy in the Tower of Babel, but my next child will be all but invincible. With this body mine to command, I will exact a bloody, glorious revenge. What? Me and my beautiful boy in the Tower of Babel. Wait, is he one of the bosses there? What? Didn't we fight some sort of... I don't remember exactly, but I think we fought like a researcher or something? Tower of Babel. Was he one of the bosses? I don't think well, technically I thought I did look at them more closely. At least when I did the dungeon for the first time. I mean, I think there were a couple of researchers there, right? Definitely don't remember this guy though. At least not by name. Oh, the fuck was that? Forgive me my boldness, Dr. Lugay. But when might I expect the rest of my payment? I have debts that must be paid. Worry not. With the Telafroi gone for good, the vast fortune of House Brutus is entirely at my disposal. I shall shower you with wealth, my loyal minion. Wait, what? House Brutus? How do they still have money? How the fuck does that work? And gladly shall I accept the spoils, Doctor, and resolve never to renounce my wicked ways, for surely this time I will suffer no comeuppance. Sure. Which is where we come in. No, not you, not now, bah, I must away. Is he gonna take Hildibrand with him though? Yeah, okay. But wait, Dr. Lugay, my payment! Wake up, Inspector! Oh, right. If he's just gonna wake up. That was a perfect throw. She should play American football at some point. Or baseball. And of course he's unconscious right away. Could it be? The world's no longer purple. Well... striking the post in between. Stop moving, damn you. You're supposed to be the comatose centerpiece of my glorious revenge. Yeah, buddy, I don't think that's gonna work. Don't tell me he accidentally pressed some explosion. Or rocket. Why the fuck are you holding on? Jump down! And of course it's... Mommy! It's the one he's sitting on. Facial animation's always top-notch in these quests. Is he actually gonna fly to the moon? Or he's gonna fly by the moon? For fuck's sake. Not again! Okay, and where is he gonna land? Oh, he's kind of... He's actually... He's actually coming back to the spot he left. How did that work? Did he flew, like, around the world once, or... Sure, just press a random... By the way, why are there buttons on a rocket? Uh-oh. This person. What the fuck? Of course. No. Oh, that deserved a Darth Vader no. Well, I think that's this Luke Doctor's demise. Don't think we will see him again, huh? No, or maybe we will. Oh, they've just... Okay. They're just gonna take him away. And he's stuck in the ground again. They got to reuse that animation a bunch of times now. I say, that was a rather dramatic series of events to awaken to, but more importantly, after a brief detour, I find myself in my own world once more. My most sincere apologies for causing you such trouble, my loyal assistants, but rejoice! For Hildibrand, Agent of Inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, has made his triumphant return. That he has. That he has. Oh boy. He's actually gonna be... He's actually gonna get taken by aliens, isn't he? Is that one of the Loperids who had too much time and now actually developed some sort of actual UFO? Oh boy, they're also taking all kinds of other things. Where are the other things coming from? Aren't we on quite the empty beach? That's it. Well, bye-bye, Inspector Extraordinaire. Well, wait, Inspector! I can't believe this guy was right. I can't fucking believe he was right. I knew it! An alien abduction! To think I would have the chance to witness one with my own eyes. Now he's going to spew all other kinds of crazy shit, isn't he? This month's issue of the Thefnarian Truth shall be the best one yet. Of course it will be. And just when I thought we finally had the inspector back, off he went, and then came back, and then floated off again. So, he is gonna appear on the moon, isn't he? And the Loperids will probably have their fun with him. Well, I mean, at least that explains the trailer scene, I suppose. I know it's not the first time that he's taken to the skies without warning, but still, it's always a little bit disappointing. Still, there's no use crying over flying inspectors. Let's return to Ratzatan. So, I suppose this is going to be it for the time being? And this continues in 6.25, I suppose? Well, it's definitely a neat reintroduction to his quests. Nice little stint on the first as well. How, Inspector? Why have you left me again? Where have you gone? No, this won't do. Get it together, Nashu. There's a case to be solved. Just you wait, Inspector. Your loyal assistant Nashu will solve the mystery of your disappearance. Again. Don't you worry. As soon as I have a new lead, you'll be the first to know. Till next time. Well, at least that is good to know as well. Oh, do we get to see a preview? Meanwhile, in Mare Lamentorum. Oh boy. Who built the UFO? Also, the UFO is really, like, it's not completely round, right? It's actually... Oh, what the fuck? The hell is happening? It's not a Loperate at all? Who the hell are you? What? The fuck is happening? And we get a beautiful, with astute mind and explosive panache. He'll find the crime, crack the case in a flash. God. Dashing debonair, pure gentleman's flair, our agent of inquiry, Hildibrand, mandible, truth and justice, never go out of style. See you, Inspector. Oh no. Well then, that was quite the reintroduction to Hildibrand, I must say. And a beautiful one at that. Well.
I'm very much looking forward to seeing how this continues in 6.25. Almost a bit disappointed that this isn't the quest that continues next week, but rather the other ones. Oh boy. Yeah, that was somehow, unexpected despite being exactly what I expected from Hildibrand's quests. These are always difficult to put into words, I would say, but oh boy. Yeah, that's... And who's this little cute alien thing? For a second there, I thought they were going to connect it to the, maybe it is connected to them, to the, what were they called? The Eni? The second race that we meet after the dragons in Ultima Thule, right? The ones that ultimately decided that it wasn't worth living anymore because they knew that the universe was going to end in a heat death anyways. I wonder if that's some sort of offspring of them. Maybe it's something entirely different. Maybe it's also something the Loperids created for some reason. I mean, there must be a reason why it came to the moon. But yeah, holy shit, that's gonna be something. I wonder if that has some actual lore implications, right? To, I don't know, some race that we've met or that has possibly been mentioned at some point. Yeah. Anyways. Well, that was Hildibrand. One thing that I do want to do... do I want to go to... You know what? Since Hildibrand took us there already, let's go to the moon. It has a nice calm atmosphere to read through the patch notes a little bit. I just want to quickly go through them, right? Talk a little bit about new points and things that I discovered and things that I'm looking forward to. So let's get a nice view with a nice calm background and talk about them. The 6.2 patch notes. Let me open the stuff up and see what we got. Now, obviously, these are the preliminary ones, which are, they're pretty close to the actual ones usually. The only thing that they add every time are like item lists and whatnot in the actual patch notes. And obviously, there's probably also going to be some balance changes that are not listed here that will be in the actual patch notes. Now, the patch itself, I saw, has an 8-hour maintenance, so not 24 hours. Though I think I'm still going to mostly stick to Divinity Original Sin tomorrow, because there's going to be a bunch more Final Fantasy to come, obviously, in the next 2 weeks, with the new patch being out. And I want to, still get into a nice session of Divinity tomorrow, so I think that'll work out quite well, hopefully. But that being said, in terms of playable content, now as always, unfortunately, since I'm streaming from my PlayStation 5, I can't actually show it on screen. I'm just going to read through it. You can always open up the patch notes on the Lodestone, obviously, if you want to follow along. But that being said, the new main scenario quests that have been added, there are 2 very interesting screenshots, to say the least, because the first one has Sid and Nero in it, and Biggs as well. So I wonder what they're on about. I guess we need their expertise to go to the 13th once more. I mean, Nero's already been there. They were a big part of the Crystal Tower questline, obviously, both him and Sid. So, that's going to be interesting. And then the second screenshot, obviously, is the weird Void Sand that was connected to Xenos, the Reaper Void Sand. so it's also going to be interesting to see who that was. I was going to say maybe I should go back and look at the unending journey for that. But then again, I would say that, I mean, I do remember everything that happened in 6.1, right? Every time they release new MSQ, you're actually reminded of how long of a pause there is sometimes between them. I mean, it's obviously not that long, right? It's 4 months between the patches, but I do still fondly remember when I started 14, right? That was sort of during, like, towards the end of Heavensward, and being able to just go through the entirety of A Realm Reborn and Heavensward in one go. That's an experience that is unlike anything else. And as much as I like doing the MSQ every time it releases, obviously I want to stay on track with that, but at some point I really, really need to go back through the entire game. I don't know whether or not that's going to be in 2 years or in 10, right? I think, didn't Mr. Happy sometimes do like a Final Fantasy XI replay where he kind of went through, I think he did that once when 11 had its, like, some big anniversary, maybe 15-year anniversary or something. I do remember him going back. No, when did it release? Didn't it release like 2003 or something? So that would have been 2018. I don't know, but he definitely did that at some point. So maybe, if 14 is going to have its maybe 15-year anniversary, maybe that would be a great point. Depending on, how far along we are in the game's life cycle at that point. Currently, it doesn't feel like it's going to stop anytime soon, right? But again, you never quite know. Anyways, back to the patch notes. So we do get a bunch of main story quests. Those are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I believe. 4, 5, 6, I think so. So that's a lot. Definitely looking forward to those. Then obviously we get the Pandemonium questline, which is also 4, 5, 6 quests. But 4 of them will be the 4 raids, basically. So 2 other ones, though I am very much, considering the absolute brilliant patch artwork that we got, I'm very much looking forward to the raid storyline to see what we get there. That's pretty awesome. Wait, let me actually grab this. Nope, that doesn't work. Well, whatever. Let's maybe put that here. Yeah, that works better. All right. Okay, then we get new side story quests. Now, this one's going to be interesting, and I wasn't quite sure what it meant during the trailer, because we did see Kate Sith, right? The cat from the Heavensward Alliance raid series. Now, considering that they revamped a bunch of Heavensward stuff in this patch, they added the trust system to multiple dungeons in Heavensward. They completely revamped the Steps of Faith trial thing that you have to do before Heavensward. That was always, or is still, really, really annoying. Was really annoying to do. Thankfully, that's a single-player instance now. Which actually, I find that so interesting, because that way they're actually bringing it in line with all the other patches, right? Because that's usually how they, after the Steps of Faith, how they handled that, because there's a big single-player instance, I think. Oh, is there actually one? Oh, yeah, there is. There is a big single-player instance at the very end of Heavensward, leading into Stormblood. There's one at the end of Stormblood, leading into Shadowbringers, and so on, right? It was just this at the end of Realm Reborn, where they still sort of didn't really have their formula of how to do things, that they did this kind of cool idea, but, in its execution not being that great, trial thing with the Steps of Faith. Is that what it's called? I think so, right? The other one's the final Steps of Faith. That's the fight against Nidhogg. But the Steps of Faith is just the big dragon walking on the bridge, right? Anyways, they revamped that. We're going to get to that in these patch notes as well. But because of that, I thought that they had maybe also done something to the Alliance raid questline, though that doesn't really need any sort of revamping, I felt like. But that's, I thought, why Cait Sith might have been there, but no. Turns out it's actually Tataru's quest that apparently will have something to do with the Sky Pirates. Now, they were, if you had done the quest previous to Endwalker, the pirates actually did appear in the one big cutscene in Charlene's Harbor, where everything sort of appeared depending on the quests that you did in the past, right? So I guess it was kind of a hint at them being incorporated in Tataru's Grand Endeavor now, because technically that's when she, gets the connections together and everything, and now apparently they are part of her endeavor. Interestingly enough, we only get one more of Tataru's quests. There might be another one in 6.25. I don't know if they're releasing them like one at a time. I do think that the introduction to the whole thing, I mean, I don't really mind the release schedule. Honestly, I don't really care if it's a bunch of quests all at once or one at a time. But I do find it strange because it's usually not how they've done this stuff in the past, right? With Hildibrand as well, I mean, these were like, 2 quests now? I don't know. I mean, they're don't know how that works, to be honest. But hopefully that quest is going to be longer than the first one with Tataru. And then we get another, which is called Tales of Newfound Adventure. It's also one quest, and apparently you have to complete one of the new MSQ quests. So I feel like it might just be... I mean, they sometimes do that, where certain quests sort of reconnect back to other stuff. One of the sort of easiest things that always pop into my mind in that regard is after we freed Alamigo, there was actually, I think it was even more than just one quest. There were like 3 or 4. Where they let you back to Little Alamigo, right? And there was a bunch of interactions there, and it was really, really cool and kind of a unique and neat sort of epilogue to, you freeing Alamigo and the implications that has for the people that remain at Little Alamigo, for example, because technically now they were able to go back to the proper city, right? Because it wasn't any longer under Garlean rule. So I always appreciate these small little neat quests that tie up some, small, loose story threads that aren't necessarily all that important, but still very, very fun and interesting to engage with. So I'm very much looking forward to whatever they're going to come up with here, considering that we seem to be going to the 13th again, even though we've already done the quests with Onol Karhaile and stuff that were also... part of that. I do wonder whether or not we'll be getting into that at some point. Let me actually, as much as I appreciate the Amarok music, I feel like it's almost a little bit too intense for what I'm trying to do here. Right? I was sort of looking more for this type of background. So... as much as I appreciate that, but it's very, very sort of thrilling and not calm. Anyways,
Alright, so those are the new quests that we get. Beast Tribe category has been renamed to Tribal. Yeah, they actually wanted to do that for, like, at the start of 6.0, I feel like, or whatever. Main scenario quest, The Steps of Faith, has been revamped. So I was right about the name. Yeah, so that's no longer a duty with multiple people, but a single player duty. Can't wait to actually go through it. I still haven't actually done the La Habrea single player duty at the end of the 2.0 main scenario. Really looking forward to doing that at some point, because I really, really enjoy how they've revamped the previous two dungeons, right? They feel much, much more in line with their new dungeons. As, you know, boring as their dungeon design can sometimes be, it's more about the spectacle and the story implications rather than the actual gameplay, I feel like. Though I do have to say that the boss design now is far better, right? Because you actually have to do something, and there are AoEs to dodge. And I feel like it's actually teaching new players a lot more about how they're supposed to engage with the content. Especially something like stack markers, for example, which a lot of people didn't really know about until sort of the end of Heavensward, and there were a bunch of stack markers that just weren't explained. They were stack markers, but they looked very different to how they're actually looking since Stormblood, basically, or end of Heavensward. So yeah, hopefully no longer will you have new players in Alliance raids or something that are running away with the stack marker, because, well, they should know what that is from the 2.0 main scenario, right? And a bunch of other quests as well. Now, one thing that I was sort of confused by when I had a quick glance over the patch notes earlier is they did some adjustments to the Chronicles of a New Era Return to Ivalice quests. And I think there has been like a quest name change. So the prerequisite quest for My Power, My Pleasure, My Pain has been changed to the City of Lost Angels. Players who are undertaking the quest will be unable to progress, however it will be possible to accept the subsequent quest desire. Completion of the Chronicles is required to continue progression. The NPC offering the quest In Bad Taste has been changed. It was Lexentail before and is now the Wandering Dramaturge. The prerequisite quest for In Bad Taste has been changed to My Power, My Pleasure, My Pain. And then it says the Chronicles of a New Era quests Making Bacon Bread and Walk On By can no longer be accepted. For unlocking the Return of Evil, this chapter New Game Plus has been adjusted. I have absolutely no idea what that refers to and why they're doing this change. It feels like they're taking something away, but maybe they're not. I'm honestly not sure what that means or what it's about. For some reason, I have no idea why they're changing that. Because I feel like making... You know what? Let's see if I can actually find out what these quests are. Should be under Chronicles of a New Era, right? Return to Ivalice. Yeah, because the quests Making Bacon Bread and Walk On By, those are the two that... Those are these ridiculous fetch quests that they introduced at some point, right? Making Bacon Bread... Deliver loaves of bacon bread high quality to the Wandering Dramaturge. Yeah, those are the two quests where you need to like, collect this ridiculous stuff. And then walk on by is where you need to get the other things. It's not the wine quest though. That's the in bad taste quest, right? So what exactly are they doing here? My power, my passion, my plane has been changed. That's the prerequisite quest, though. I just don't understand what the fuck this change is supposed to be about. Maybe I'll read up on that later. But it doesn't say anything about the quest's contents being changed. And then it says the Chronicles of a New Era quests, my power, my pleasure, my pain, and in bad taste have been removed from the Return to Ivalice chapter in New Game Plus. Why? Did they add this stuff together? Did they somehow put the, I don't understand at all what that's supposed to be about. I mean, it's definitely the stuff with the wine and everything, right? Where you need to grab all the... Maybe they're just really doing that in order to streamline those quests, because Return to Ivalice is now the prerequisite for the whole rally quests and Shadowbringers and everything, right? In Gangos, you need to do Return to Ivalice to do it. But the well, I guess the wine fetching, that was part of the main, not the main quest, but the actual raid quest line, and then the rest of it was optional, right? The other fetch quests. So I get that they would streamline that a little bit, but why remove it altogether? I mean, those quests are still funny in hindsight. Maybe not while you're going through them, but that feels like a bad change. I don't remember them ever talking about that. I have to read up on that. Maybe some other potential streamers or other people that are going through the patch notes can explain to me why that's happening. Because if it's really just about streamlining, then I heavily disagree with this. Because it wasn't that like, it was literally just, okay, you teleport somewhere else, grab the wine, and then come back. And it was, somewhat, the problem with Return to Ivalice is that the quests have pretty bad pacing. Like, it's a very, very slow and boring quest most of the time, because the dialogue is way too exhaustive. Like, the quests themselves and the raids especially are great. And I thoroughly enjoyed them, but it's just the dialogue in the quests can be very, very long. And that, combined with the fact that you had such a ridiculous fetch quest to do, can maybe turn people off of doing the quests. I definitely get that, but I feel like the solution isn't really to just straight up remove them. Because doesn't it kind of remove the sort of weird and interesting legacy of them doing that? I don't know. We also get a new Ethernet chart in the High Crucible in Alchemia, Right, that's actually what I was complaining about earlier, right? For some reason, the High Crucible doesn't actually have its own Ethernet shard. But it is quite big and quite far away from the main Aetheryte, so it's interesting that they added that. Then, in terms of fates, players can no longer collect items as disciples of the hand or land from certain fates. I had no idea that was actually possible. No idea what that's referring to, but okay. Sure. New items are available from certain gemstone traders. Fuck, I definitely need to level the fates in Endwalker. And then obviously we get new stuff in the Excitatron 6000, which is the treasure maps. Don't know if I've even done that at this point in Endwalker as well. Well, I did a bunch of treasure maps in the past, but they've never really changed. It's just sort of the background that changes, right? So, wasn't too interested in that in Endwalker currently. New charge symbol options have been added to company crests. That's pretty awesome. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. And we get new areas and items for subaquatic voyages, and the maximum rank of submersibles has been increased from 95 to 100, which is really interesting. Then, one thing that I found absolutely ridiculous and hilarious and really, really awesome is they spoke about earlier that there were some really, really big problems when they changed over the housing stuff to the new system that we now got, right, to the lottery system. The first time they did the lottery, somehow some plots came up with the number 0, or that the number 0 won, but that obviously wasn't the case. So there were all kinds of problems in the background, and they needed like 3 weeks to resolve that. And they apologized for that like a billion different times. But one really, really cool thing that they did, right, is they actually gave out too much money. So the way they resolved the system was that they sort of overrode the actual lottery results data onto the servers, right? Because there was the actual problem was sort of between the server that did the lottery and the server that was supposed to display the lottery results. So the lottery was carried out successfully, but the communication to the game servers wasn't successful, and it displayed the wrong winner in certain cases, or rather, no winner at all. But through resolving that issue, there were basically people who had already taken money back out of the lottery because they hadn't won, because it displayed the winner as number 0. But ultimately, they did end up winning, right? But they had already taken back their money. And instead of going through the hassle of collecting that money back from those players and resetting certain things and whatnot, because they would have to do that manually for every single player that happened to, they just said, okay, you can keep the money, but we're going to introduce an NPC in the housing ward that you can give the money back to if you feel inclined to do so, right? So if you're a very honest person and or you have way too much money to begin with, you can go to the NPC now and give them a bunch of money, which is kind of a cute thing. I'd imagine that a lot of people will actually do that. Well, maybe not a lot, but there will definitely be people who do this. But what I really, really appreciate, and what I wonder how this is going to work, is it seems like, so it's called the Housing Lottery Clerk in Imperium. And it says the amount returned will be compensated with an exchange of an item. And they have a screenshot here of 3 posters that look very, very cute, right? 2 of them have an Amazu on them, 1 has a Lalafell. And it just says, I'm very sorry on the Namazu one and sorry on the Lalafell one. They look absolutely cute. And I wonder if you can only get these posters if you give your deposit back, which will only be the people who accidentally took that out. Because some people would probably pay, 50 million gil for a unique poster like that, to have that in the game. So I'm wondering if other people will be able to purchase these posters as well, or if they will be exclusive to the people who are honest enough to return their deposit. Because that would be a brilliant way to do that, and to bring players to actually bring back their deposits. And the posters just look absolutely fabulous. Then we get furnishings from the design contest, which is cool. I see a new wooden clock that looks pretty beautiful. It has a... what are they called? Porcopur? The funny jumping plant mount thing with the leaf on top. I see a new wardrobe looking thing, or not wardrobe, but cupboard. Looks very close to the one we already have, with the shoes in it and whatnot, but now it has a different shape. That looks pretty cool. Also has a jacket on it. I think there might be a new tea set or something. And then maybe new curtains that are smaller than the previous ones. And then there is a garden, not fence, but like a small fence piece, basically, that you can place. Looks very Eastern. Pretty cool. Then we get a new background, one of these big screens, right? So we already have these big screens that you can place in your house, but now we get one with the Costa del Sol as a background. That looks pretty beautiful. We also get a round window, apparently, that looks like a church window. That's pretty cool. Some vines for the wall. That also does look like a new wall, I'm pretty sure. Also looks like some other plant things that you can place on the wall as well. And we also get new portraits. Now this shows the Tataru portrait, but I think you get a bunch more as well. And a new cardboard box or something. And then outdoors we also get a bunch of stuff. A well, that looks pretty cool. We get a tent, some new benches and tables and whatnot for sitting outside. And you get a new outer wall as well, and looks like a destroyed, ruined tower. Looks pretty cool, and a pillar that's overgrowing with pretty beautiful flowers. So those are pretty cool. New orchestrion rolls, obviously, new flower pots, or new seeds for flower pots rather. New fish. Interestingly enough, they showed some sort of mechanical fish. Looks absolutely ridiculous. Pretty cool. For some reason, they changed the gate schedule in the Mandible Gold Saucer. I don't really know what exactly they changed there, but they did. Your adventurer portraits will now display before a game of Dome and Mahjong. So that's obviously very, very important, but I do like that. Honestly, maybe I would even appreciate them putting in the adventurer portraits if you join together in Duty Findy for a dungeon or something. I feel like that would, I don't know, add something, right? If you got to know the players you're with, just briefly, they wouldn't even need to show it full screen, just sort of in the side somewhere, onto the side somewhere. That would be pretty cool. We get new prizes available for purchase using MGP. I don't know what that's going to be. There is no screenshot here, so I don't think it's going to be a mount or something, because they would usually show that, and I also don't think that they've shown any sort of additional new mount in one of the life letters, but you never know. And obviously we get new triple try cards, which I still have to get the new ones from Endwalker, or a bunch of them at least. Right. Then we get the Island Sanctuary. Now this is a pretty big section. They've talked about most of the stuff on the live stream already, so I'm just going to sort of skim over this. I mean, everybody kind of already knows what the Island Sanctuary is going to be like, and I will thoroughly enjoy that. I think it's a pretty cool addition to the game. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting how customizable it is. That's sort of the biggest issue that I have with it currently. Is it looks like it's a very, very linear progression for everyone. And you will probably be able to choose between different looks for the houses and whatnot, but I think most of the island sanctuaries of most players will probably look very similar, except for maybe the minions that are running around. That's my current assumption anyways. Don't know if that actually turns out to be true, though it's mainly about yourself anyway, right? It's sort of your go-to place to relax and chill. So, yeah, in that regard, it doesn't really matter that it's not that unique or customizable in some ways. But yeah, it's going to be incredibly interesting. You will have some new UI elements, obviously, that will show you your current progression and whatnot, and the different things that you can do. And then you will have different modes that you can select depending on what you want to do. So if you want to garden, you select the gardening mode, right? If you want to gather materials, you select that and whatnot. So that's pretty interesting. Almost reminds me of choosing the different tools in Animal Crossing, right? If you choose like your watering can or shovel and whatnot. Almost seems like that, to be honest. And then the modes, obviously, you know, you can build your buildings. Sorry. Fucking hell, where did that come from? Oh, sorry about that. But yeah, you can choose your different, so there's like crops you can grow, there's stuff you can gather, there's like a house here, and the minion, those are the different menus that you'll be able to open up, right? It's the main menu, and then you have some basic information, and also obviously you can collect a currency thing that seems to be somewhat similar to how the Ishgard Restoration works, for example, where you get these scripts that you can then exchange for mounts, minions, orchestrating rolls, and what have you. So it seems like that's going to be pretty similar in that regard. And then your sanctuary also seems to have a rank, which indicates your experience with subsisting in an island environment and improving your personal sanctuary. Earn island experience by engaging in various activities. The higher your rank, the more features and options will become available to you. So that's just a way to track your progression, basically, and access certain new features. I wonder how much time gating will be in this. I imagine not that much. Technically, for example, the Ishgard Restoration never had any time gating, right? You can get as many scripts as you want at any time. So I don't think this is going to have any. Wouldn't really make sense, would it? And then they kind of highlight a couple of the features, but I think, you know, I'm going to discover this anyway as soon as it releases. Obviously, you have logs and you know, overviews over all the different new items. So, interestingly enough, Island Sanctuary will be completely independent of everything else, so you don't need to have gathering leveled, for example, to be able to gather. And obviously, all the items that you can gather are also completely separate from your normal inventory and normal gathering and whatnot. So, at first I was kind of bummed about that, but then again, I think it's really better this way. And the beautiful thing about it is that it is all kept in separate menus as well, right? So I don't think you ever have to engage with your own inventory in order to progress anything here, right? It's all kept in their own respective inventories and whatnot, and overview screens. And I think that's actually quite good, right? That you don't clog up your inventory. Because that's something, for example, that I dislike about the ocean fishing, because that just puts a bunch of fish in your actual inventory, but at the same time, the ocean fish can't be used for anything, right? They're literally just there. You can desynth them, I guess, but that's about it. Or you can sell them to an NPC, right? That's all you can do. I think you can probably also put them into a fish tank, but yeah. So I really kind of dislike that they clog up your actual inventory instead of just being... I mean, they could have literally also just done the same thing with ocean fishing, where you just have, you know, an overview that shows you all the fish you've caught, and that's it, right? And then they
you know, as soon as you leave ocean fishing, those fish are gone and nobody cares about them anymore. So I do appreciate them putting everything into its own menu. And then, yeah, obviously you get a bunch. You can gather stuff, you can craft stuff, you can construct stuff, and obviously you need to gather a bunch of materials to construct and upgrade your hideaway and the other buildings that you can do. And you can, you know, plant and harvest crops. And then you can apparently also capture animals on the island itself, and you can get materials from those animals. So kind of like a farm. It's interesting. And one thing that I'm actually pretty excited about is releasing the minions. One of each minion, up to 40, can be released to roam free in the various areas of your island. One thing that I was really interested in, it says here, as they while away the hours wandering about the island, you may find they behave differently than when left to their own devices. So I wonder if they actually introduced new animations and whatnot to some of the minions. If you summon them on your island sanctuary, that would be pretty awesome, to be honest. And yeah, it finally gives me a chance to engage with my minions, because I kept to Midgardsormr the entire time, and I like him as a minion, having him around, sitting on my shoulder and whatnot. So I appreciate being able to take out a couple of the other minions that I own. Almost wish they would just let you release all of your minions and they would just randomly walk around the island. Maybe there's going to be some sort of roulette type thing where they change, where you can change them every time automatically when you enter Island Sanctuary or something. That would be cool, to be honest. So that you'd have other ones there from time to time. Then you have a cozy cabin, primary facility of your hideaway. You access the orchestrion to play on your favorite tunes. And that's where the merchants are stationed to exchange items. Then you have a workshop, which will probably be used for crafting, the granary, for gathering materials and whatnot. So you get a couple of different buildings, and then I'd imagine those buildings will have, you know, a couple of different exteriors to customize them and whatnot. So that's going to be interesting to see. But I think, for example, their placement on the map will be fixed. I don't think they'll allow you to place them freely. Yeah. So it's not quite as free. I don't know if you've ever engaged with the Genshin Impact housing stuff, for example, but that was kind of blowing me away, right? In a game that is technically free to play. I mean, I've never paid for Genshin. Well, except once, $12, but that was, well, euros, not dollars. But that was once, and I got hundreds of hours out of that game, so yeah. Maybe I'll return to it at some point, but Genshin has a pretty extensive housing feature where you can freely place everything. And I don't think they will let you do that here. I think that's also because of engine limitations, obviously, in Final Fantasy. Then again, actual housing does let you place items freely, right? So if you go to a housing ward, technically all of those items there, not the houses themselves, obviously, but the gardening items, the outdoor items everybody places, those are freely placed. So the game can do that. I don't know. I wonder how they're going to do that. I don't think they've ever actually talked about that, but we'll see. Then it explains how you can leave it, and you can also visit other players' islands, obviously, and invite players to yours, and it's up to 16 players per island, so that's pretty awesome. And then it explains how you do that and visit and whatnot. So yeah, I'm really going to be looking forward to that feature, and probably will spend a lot of time in there. It does say, however, new objectives pertaining to the Island Sanctuary have been added to the other category in the challenge. Oh, that's the challenge log? Well, okay, yeah, challenge log. So in theory, those are weeklies then, but yeah, challenge log aren't really weeklies, right? It's more of a, oh, hey, by the way, you can do this or you can do that, right? It's not really weekly quests and whatnot. We get new hairstyles. Those are looking cool as always. Viera actually get new hairstyles. Cool. And the new hairstyles that they introduced for the Hrothgar now actually properly show their ears, so that's good.
don't know why they didn't up until this point. Also seemed like it would have been a pretty easy fix, right? So I wonder why it took them so long to do it, but oh well. Yeah, and then we get new dungeons for the duty support system, namely Snowcloak and the Keep of the Lake, and then Heavensward, Sawmill, the Eyrie, and the Vault. So it's not all of them currently, but it's a bunch of them. So that's good. And as we saw during the trailer, this time around, we actually do get to run around with the proper NPCs that are associated with those quests, right? So, for example, Horshathar is actually going to tank for you in the vault. Holy fuck. But yeah, that's pretty cool. And I really appreciate them doing this. They also added new stuff to the Wondrous Tales from Chloe. And it does show the Heavensward birds here. Unless that's a new one. It shows one that does look like them. So maybe that's just a new mount that just looks very similar to the old ones. I don't really know. Or maybe you can get the old mounts now through that, which would also be very interesting. Then obviously Faux Hollow has been changed over. Now it's not Ultima's Bane Unreal anymore, but Containment Bay S1T7, which is Sephiroth. Which apparently was one of the hardest trials when it originally released, so I am looking forward to doing that. I feel kind of bad, because obviously Ultima's Bane was incredibly easy to do, and I never did it. Well, I did do it, like I cleared it once or twice, and then that was it. And there is what I think is a new, like, chipmunk minion that is shown here that looks really cute. Well, I don't know why I'm not really doing that. Something about it being weekly annoys me. Because being able to farm the mounts, right, that's so cool. That's the cool thing about the mount farming from the actual Extreme Trials every expansion. I can just do that whenever, right? There's usually a point, or at least at the end of Shadowbringers, I sort of said to myself, hey, why not farm the rest of the mounts that I was missing? And I just kind of did it. It was a lot of fun, right? And I got the rest of the mounts. So I like doing that at my own pace. But the problem is with Unreal, you actually need to do it twice a week if you want to get the currency in order to buy the mounts and whatnot. And it does take, in my opinion, slightly too long to get stuff, right? You need to do it like 8 successive weeks or something to even be close to some of the mounts. And yeah, I don't know. I don't really like that grinding weekly thing. But we'll see. Then we get the character portraits in the 4.x stuff, so that's, you know, every time a character talks in sort of battle scenes and whatnot, it now shows the small UI element with their portrait. I definitely appreciate that. I think they added the Shadowbringers stuff and instances in 6.1, and now they did Stormblood, so that's pretty cool. We also get new emotes. And one thing that I also appreciate is if you use the draw emote to draw your weapon, it will now stay out, which previously you had to specify that, I think. So you had to do basically a macro that specified that you wanted to stay in your offensive stance and keep the weapon out. But now the emote does that all by itself, so that's pretty cool. Description of certain actions and status effects has been adjusted. Okay. One thing that I really, really appreciate, and that's hopefully going to be or going to make it a lot easier for newer players to understand how jobs work and how their rotations work and whatnot, is they're overhauling the way that abilities are shown. So currently, right, let me actually go into that. Currently, if we go to actions and traits and then your actions here,
it just shows you this big, ridiculous list of everything that you can do. But the problem here, obviously, is that it's not immediately clear what belongs together, right? So, for example, in this case, you wouldn't really know unless you read through everything, which you should do that anyways, right? But, it's not immediately clear that Tri-Disaster is the upgrade to Outburst, for example, right? And also not immediately clear how this connects. Now, I'm on Summoner currently, so I don't really have combos in that sense, but especially for melee classes that have their typical 1-2-3 combo and whatnot, now it's actually gonna show that, right? So you can switch between this, which is going to be the classic mode, I guess, and then they're calling it a compact view. I don't like that name because it's anything but compact, right? What it does do, however, is it's properly showing you, well, not your rotation, but the way your actions work, right? So they show you what actions belong together and whatnot, so that it's immediately clear, and also what actions upgrade to what other actions, and hopefully that's going to be a big plus, especially for newer players who might, well, not necessarily struggle, but it is somewhat easy to either miss an ability completely for a while, right, or to not really understand how they function together, right? And especially if you're, even me, who's very experienced in the game, still has to look over this stuff multiple times to make sure that I haven't forgotten any action to put onto my hotbars, or that I haven't overlooked, if they overhaul the jobs at the beginning of an expansion or something, that I don't overlook any new function or change and whatnot, right? And so I really, really appreciate them changing that view. Maybe at some point we'll actually get some sort of, at least a basic rotation overview and whatnot. At least we do have the help windows that explain how your job gauge works. So yeah. One thing that I also really, really appreciate, although it wasn't really a problem, I got used to the way it's displayed now, but the recast timer displayed in the middle of action icons can now be enlarged. So, when we had the big influx of World of Warcraft players coming over to 14, there was this big discussion about third-party tools and about UI enhancements and whatnot. And this feels like albeit a very small, but at least a step in the right direction by the team at Square Enix to appreciate what kind of mods and UI enhancements were used and why they were used, right? And to actually put that stuff in the game natively. So I really, really appreciate that. And one big complaint that a lot of people legitimately or had, and I do agree with them, is that the recast timer on actions is way too small. So you do see the animation, obviously, of the, your ability being grayed out partially, and then turns and shows you when it comes back. And I never really had an issue with that, right? I feel like you very quickly get used to that, but especially in terms of an accessibility option as well, right? For people who may be struggling to see that for various reasons, you now have the ability to enlarge and center the number that displays the amount of seconds that an ability is still on cooldown. Very much like the UI mods did. So that's pretty cool that that's now a thing, and it will be in under whatever that is. The hotbar menu somewhere. Right. For some reason, HP restoration over time will no longer generate enmity with each tick of healing. Don't know why that change was necessary. Maybe some people are still dumb enough to tank with tank stance even on. I don't know. Now, a very controversial change, I think, is that when under an effect that increases the chance to land a critical hit or direct hit, Actions that are guaranteed to land a critical hit or direct hit will now deal increased damage. So, in the past, one of the big criticisms was always that, for example, Warrior, who has a phase of their rotation where they get guaranteed crits and direct hits, they don't profit off of abilities that increase your crit chance, right? Now, to be honest, in my opinion, that is completely fine. I don't know why people have problems with that, because at least in theory, if the team does their job right, they should be balanced in a way where that is taken into account. Now, obviously, that does create a couple of problems, because if you balance that correctly, or it's very difficult to balance that correctly. Let's put it that way, because obviously a good team that has a lot of, that knows and understands how to properly do buffs and debuffs and whatnot, and buff alignment, they profit less off of classes that do that, right? So typically those classes maybe didn't get played that much by the higher tier players, whereas players who are pretty bad at aligning buffs might profit from that because they don't need to rely on that. And while I get that criticism, I feel like this solution is a bit strange, and I wonder how it will pan out in the end. So now essentially you get a damage buff that is sort of equal to what you would otherwise have gained in crits and direct hits. Now, in theory, that would mean that they'd have to decrease the potency slightly of skills that do that to offset that, right? The reason why I don't like it personally is because it takes something away from the game. Again, right? I mean, it might be something that is, poorly implemented to begin with, right? A discussion about whether or not skills that guarantee direct hits and crits should even be in the game, that is another point entirely, but this solution feels kind of bad, because now they're essentially working like that, they're essentially working like skills that don't get, right? I mean, it's really purely about the aesthetics now. So you guarantee crits and direct hits, but their actual function will be the exact same. You might as well just take that away entirely, just increase their potency, and then they would work like everything else does, and it would be the exact same outcome. So that's what I don't really like, right? It takes further uniqueness out of the jobs, and substitutes it with something that is just sort of boring. But I can understand why they do it. It's just kind of unfortunate. They adjusted some enemy locations for whatever reason. And then the new MSQ dungeon is called the Fell Court of Troya, which seems to be on the 13th. And looks quite scary from the screenshot. So that's going to be the new dungeon. Sadly, that also means that the first 3 dungeons that were introduced with Endwalker are going to get level synced now. That's probably going to be a little bit annoying doing them. We get a new trial, obviously, but this time around, for whatever reason, it's actually a hidden one. I don't know why, but I'm very excited because it does seem like we are not actually getting a trial series, but rather that the trials will all be part of the main story. Now, hopefully that is going to be the case, because if so, that would be amazing and insane, and I would be here for it the entire way. That feels incredible. Yeah. We're going over Unreal a bit more. It's the same as always. Now you can also exchange the totems from the first 2 extremes in Endwalker. That's also great. We get the new raid, obviously. It works the same as always. And Savage does work the same except for 2 details. One is that the release of the Savage mode is going to be delayed by a week. Now we obviously already knew that. The interesting thing here, though, to note is that the time is pretty interesting. Though I felt like, wait, so it's Tuesday at 1 a.m. No, it's the actual. It's exactly 1 week, so it's after the servers are supposed to come up, in theory, right? Just 1 week later, exactly. Interesting. I feel like I read another time there at some point. Weird. But yeah, otherwise Savage is going to work exactly the same, except for the fact that now hands, legs, and... No, not legs. What is it? Head, hands, and feet only cost 4 books instead of 6. And I do really appreciate that. It always felt weird with them being 6. Especially because the upgrade materials you also need to purchase with those same books, right? So that's going to make that a little bit easier, and I feel like, yeah, that I very much appreciate that. But otherwise, the whole loot structure and everything with the coffers and whatnot will be exactly the same. Everything will get moved to the Raid Finder and whatnot. Endsinger is going to receive Echo, so that's fine. A bunch of weekly restrictions have been removed from the older content, obviously. And one cool thing for Paladins is that everything will always be a set now. So you don't get those awkward situations where, sword and shield drop, but you only get one of them for some reason. This time around, you actually get both. Then we obviously get the new elegant tombstones, which will work exactly the same as always. They're going to exchange the old ones, and the old ones you can exchange for the older ones that now have become the new unlocked tombstones. Expert Roulette will also change and now only contain 2 dungeons. It will be Alcedal's Legacy from 6.1, obviously, and the Fell Court of Troya, which is the new one. And now we also get the level 90 Roulette, which will contain the 3 original Endwalker dungeons. Yeah, other than that, this is all just a bunch of stuff that was added somewhere. A bunch of prerequisites. Elegant tombstones everywhere. Then obviously we get the adjustments that have been made to old dungeons because of the introduction of the trust system. I do feel slightly, the Yeti boss in Snowcloak, for example, has been changed. And I always felt that was one of the most unique boss designs in dungeons. So they probably adjusted that because, 80% of people that you got matched with had absolutely no fucking idea what to do there. And to no fault of their own, right? It's very, very unclear how that battle works if you first see it. But yeah, there have been a bunch of changes, and unfortunately that will mean that a bunch of the sort of older, more weirder mechanics will probably go away. Now, in the grand scheme of things, that's obviously good, but it's always... I wish there would be a way to access the old stuff. But I guess you have to watch, YouTube videos for that or something. What is good, though, is that they also changed a bunch of target indicators for a bunch of stuff. Because, those are getting brought more in line with what we already know. Interestingly, for example, also in the Heavensward Alliance Raid series, which now is probably a prerequisite for the new Totaro quest. And as I already mentioned, Steps of Faith has been made into a single-player duty. And now they also expand the what they tested last time with the that it takes longer for the screen to darken after your party KOs in a raid, for example. And that's there so that you can actually get a clearer look at what killed you. And now they're expanding that to everything, every time you KO with your party. So that's great. I am wondering. The problem is, I'm running out of time here. I wanted to stop streaming like 30 minutes ago. Somehow everything took a bit longer than I expected. So, what I am going to do is I'm going to stop here. And I think I'm just going to go through the rest of the patch notes before the service come up on Tuesday. We'll see about that. But yeah, I do need to stop here, unfortunately, for today. Anyways, it's been a bunch of fun. Hildibrand was absolutely incredible as always and hilarious, and I can't wait to see how they continue that. Same goes for the other quests. I'm looking forward to 6.2 a lot, and hopefully there's going to be a bunch more really cool, funny, and interesting 14 stuff. But that being said, that's going to be it for today. As I said, there's going to be a bunch more Divinity Original Sin tomorrow. Maybe with a slightly different start time, though, than usual, because I'm already getting sort of acquainted with a schedule that fits more with the patch release on Tuesday. And then, yeah, Tuesday forward, it's going to be a bunch of 14. That's going to be it for today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, evening, morning, wherever you are. And thanks for being here. Thanks for chatting. Hopefully I'll see you next time when we continue. Until then, bye.